on Bettor Sports Network.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Halloween. Your boy Cam is rocking an old Magic Johnson jersey here on Halloween. I'm going as Fletch. I'm trying to show you all on video here, number 32. This jersey is old, very, very old, and it was a gift of mine from a buddy of mine, an exec who used to work with the NBA. And I love this jersey. I haven't worn it in a long, long time, but I am so stoked to be back here on Bettor Sports Network. Bettor Sports live at your service here on Halloween. And we've got all kinds of great sports tonight. I thought we were going to have baseball. We are not going to have baseball. Mother Nature is not complying with that plan. Oh, my God, I'm about to go blind. I'm seeing what James Harden is walking into the arena in right now. It's like I don't know. It's like a color bar thing gone wrong. Everybody's kind of getting their Halloween on tonight. I'm not usually like a Halloween costume guy. I'm not. If I go to a party with my wife, I haven't done that in a long time. But if I did, I'd wear a costume. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to win fantasy leagues, have great shows, help you guys win bets, let you know what's going on, and just generally have a dang good time here on Bettor Sports Network. So it's Halloween. We're settling in here. Your boy is a.k.a. Ricky Props, a.k.a. Fletch tonight. And one of my favorite movies of all time. And so we won't get baseball tonight. We will not. But I will give you a World Series prediction later on. I mean, I've already told you Astros, right? But we'll go into the money lines and kind of where it is right now after two games with the series tied at 1. But it's been postponed tonight. Games 3, 4, and 5, of course, all in Philly will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then game 6 and 7 if necessary. And I believe they will be necessary. We'll be back in Houston starting next weekend. So in terms of some NBA news here right off the top, and then getting into some NBA props, because we got a couple of 7 joints that are about to get underway here, and that's the Kings at the Hornets and the Sixers at the Wizards. Ben Simmons is out tonight, left knee soreness, and I don't know where we're going with this. If he plays tomorrow night, it's the second of a back-to-back, and we're going nowhere with this. If he doesn't play tomorrow night, then okay, it's not just load management. Maybe we're going somewhere with it. Got my eye on that. Joel Embiid will not play tonight. Joel Embiid is out with an illness and will not play for the 76ers tonight. And that does impact my first prop bet of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Hamla, a.k.a. Ricky Props, a.k.a. Fletch, up in here on Halloween. And we got Tyrese Maxey's over at 21.5 points. It was minus 120 to the over. A little bit earlier today. I still like it. I'm still banging on it. If with Joel Embiid out, I absolutely love it. And I'm wondering if some change has occurred here with the point prop on this. Let me just do a quick little bit of investigation. Where's my guy Maxey? There he is, 22.5. We're at 21.5. We are up a point here. With Embiid going down, I still like it. And we're now at a minus 30. I get these numbers from DraftKings. So now we're up to 22.5. I would have taken it earlier today, by the way. And look, it's contingent on Embiid, but it's kind of not contingent on Embiid. I kind of liked him anyway. But anyway, 22.5, still going over this number. And if out, Tyrese Maxey, in terms of his flow this year with making this number, he's made it a lot. He's at 25, he's at 31, he's at 44. We've also had an 8, we've had a 14, we've had a 15. But those numbers don't matter all that much because Joel Embiid is out. And so now the calculation is completely different. And, over the weekend, we saw Joel Embiid out and Tyrese Maxey absolutely soar for, I believe, 44 points in a game against the Raptors. So, and Harden kind of took a backseat. Harris took a backseat. It was the Maxey show. And I kind of think that's going to happen here tonight. Especially against Washington, that's not a great defensive team. So we're going over 22.5 here on Tyrese Maxey because when you're with Harden and Embiid, life is tough. Sometimes you're going to get 11 shots, sometimes you're going to get 19 shots, and it's difficult to gauge whether he's going to go over his average or under his average, right? Well, we have a reason right here, and the number has gone up, but the number can't go up. They got to make up 30 points per game from Joel Embiid out of the lineup. Okay. Tyrese Maxey's going 22.6 points per game this year, and it is a great matchup for Maxey against Washington. Last year, he averaged 18 points per game on 51% from the field and 43% from deep. And again, That math is with Joel Embiid. This math is without Joel Embiid, but I wanted to bring that stat to you to personify the efficiency and the comfortability that he plays with against Washington, and basically everybody does. Again, they're not a great defensive team. Around the corner here, we'll get you ready for Monday Night Football. We have the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Cleveland Browns. Ricky Props will be in here for that. Tell you who I think is going to win the game. It's all coming up. We got some NBA games about to tip off. So we're starting here. Trae Young at 28.5. Folks, I'm going under this number. Going under 28.5. I don't usually do unders, but I'm just not feeling Trae Young tonight. The under was a minus 140 earlier when I looked at it. He's averaging 31.5 points per game on the season. So we're 3 below that number with the line here. He's a 25.4 career scoring average guy. But Toronto's defense is why this is a stay away. They're third, giving up 106 points per game. Nick Nurse always dials up terrific defense. I think Trae Young's going to have a lot of length on him, and I know he struggles with length. Guys like Gary Trent, guys like OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, even Pascal Siakam. I'm not saying the Hawks can't win this game. I'm saying I believe Toronto is going to try to cut off the head of the snake, and it's a buzzsaw what Atlanta's going into tonight. This feels to me like a come back to earth type of game for Trae Young. He's basically butting his head up into the MVP discussion right now. The Hawks are at 4-2, maybe due for a bit of a correction early on. Toronto's 3-3. They're a way better team than that, way better than a 500 team. So, there's probably a correction coming with that. I like Toronto tonight, and I like them because they're going to limit Trae Young. So I'm going under on 28.5 for the great Trae Young. In this one. And let me see if we got any line movement on Trae. He's still at 28.5. I look because Fred VanVleet is out for Toronto. I wanted to see if there was any kind of line shift with that, and there has not been. And it doesn't really move my needle at all because, like I said, there's going to be long defenders on Trae Young. And VanVleet's a terrific defender. But let's see here. Do I have anybody else that's going off here in just a moment? Okay, so continue on here with NBA props because we're getting to about 7:07. Talking about a 7:30 game right here. Kevin Durant. Let's talk about Durant. Obviously, the embattled and controversial Brooklyn Nets. He's at 31.5 tonight here on Halloween. I'm going over this number. I'm not going to bring up a Kevin Durant. I'm probably not going to go under too much on Kevin Durant here. I pick spots where I see a sore game for him, and I ride it. It's minus 120 to the over. He has to have a big game tonight. Kevin Durant has to have a big game tonight. There is no other option. There is no other conclusion. He has to. The Nets are 1-5. 1-5. They just lost to the Pacers, who they will play tonight. You want to talk about a motivation spot, a focus spot? This is it. And been a lot said and a lot, and all that, but it's time to play basketball. And this team is 1-5. I think Kevin Durant, I don't know how the other guys are going to play. I know this guy's going to ball out and play a great game tonight. On Saturday, in the game where Brooklyn lost to Indiana at Barclays, Durant had 26 points, made 8 of 20. So I like this because we've got a 1-5, motivated and all that kind of stuff. We've also got a bounce back game coming here from Kevin Durant. He's not going out like that. It's not like Indiana has all these dogged defenders he just was missing shots that night. It was a very funky, flat Nets performance on Saturday night. They had a team meeting after it. They had to come to Jesus, the whole thing. Look, Indiana's not winning tonight, folks. The Nets have to win this game. I believe Kevin Durant will them to win this game if nobody else wants to join the party. So I do like Kevin Durant over on his point prop tonight at 31.5. Continuing on here with NBA props, Tyrese Halliburton. We're going back to it, man. We're going back to Tyrese Halliburton at 20.5 points tonight. Of course, we're going over that number, and it's a minus 115 to the over. Get these numbers from DraftKings, like I said. We are going back to the well again, and really, we're kind of padding stats right now. Vegas still is not high enough here with Tyrese Halliburton, and we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets, okay? The Brooklyn Nets have, ladies and gentlemen, the worst defense in the NBA. The worst. They're like the Detroit Lions of the NBA. Everybody comes and eats and just does what they want. The Lions are the worst defense in the NFL. The Nets are the worst defense in the NBA. 122 points per game they're giving up. We need 21 from Halliburton, okay? Saturday against Brooklyn, he had 26. He made 6 of 10 threes. He had 6 boards and 8 assists and 3 steals to give you an idea of how much he dominated that game. He's averaging 23.4 points per game on the season, 3 over the number that we got to hit here at 20 and a half. And you say, well, what if the Nets blow him out tonight, Cam? I still like him to hit 21 points or 22, 23 points. He's their guy. And NBA guys get numbers, even in blowouts. Not all of them, but the guy on the team usually gets his numbers in a blowout. Do you remember that massive beatdown that Dallas put on Memphis like 2 weekends ago? They beat him by 800 points. Ja still had 20 points in that game. The studs still get their numbers, man. You say it's not 27 or 30 what he averages. I get it, but he still had 20. You know what I'm saying? Like the star level players on your team, they have the rock, and late in games, they may be kind of gunning for their scoring average a little bit when they know that they're probably overall going to take a loss. It's Rick Campbell here on Bettor Sports Network. Our show is Bettor Sports Live on a big night of sports. We've got Monday Night Football coming up around the corner, and predictions from your boy coming up around the corner on that as well. And a ton of NBA games going on tonight. Atlanta and Toronto, Sac and Charlotte, Philly and Washington, Indiana and Brooklyn. Big, intriguing game there. We've been talking about it. Detroit at Milwaukee, Cade Cunningham against Giannis. I know. Memphis and Utah. We'll find out if Ja Morant is playing or not. Houston at the Clippers, who are 2-4 and have lost 4 in a row. Very interesting night of NBA basketball here on Halloween. So let's go to Milwaukee and the Pistons and Bucks game. And we're going to hit Jaden Ivey here, 12.5. We're going over this number. You say 12.5. Has Vegas learned nothing? It's not a good matchup, okay? And I'll get into this, but I think that's why. And look, we've been padding our stats and helping you make money with Jaden Ivey since he started playing. We had him on his NBA debut, cashed in. Drew Holiday is going to be on Cade Cunningham tonight. That's why we're not going with Cade here. I don't want to play his under because it just, but I think he'll be minimized a little bit. If I had to play Cade, I think he was at 20.5 last I saw. I would go under that number, but that's not an official tout here. I want to go over on Jaden Ivey because Drew Holiday is going to be all over Cade Cunningham in this game, bothering him, probably harassing him into a 6 of 18 type of stat line, right? He'll have goodies. He might even flirt with a triple-double, but the scoring and the efficiency I don't really think is going to be there from Cade. Someone's got to score, okay? Jaden Ivey and Saddiq Bey really are those next guys in the pecking order. And Jaden Ivey's going to be going against guys tonight like George Hill, Grayson Allen, Wesley Matthews, Javon Carter, guys like that. I mean, look, they can defend, especially Carter, especially Matthews, but that's not Drew Holiday. That's not Chris Middleton, and I don't think Giannis is going to be on Jaden Ivey tonight, okay? So it's not a great matchup, but that's how I've mitigated that at this 12.5 number right here. If this is 14.5, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's 12.5. Very, very reachable number here. Ivy, by the way, has the athleticism and sort of the overall it factor to make plays happen in Milwaukee. He's not going to be a deer and, oh, my God, I'm at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Oh, my God. No, he's going to be fine. Like, it's not typically, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a great matchup at Milwaukee. Arguably the best defense in the league. It's not a great matchup, okay? But 12.5 is really gettable for us here. Check this out. His flow has gone 19, 17, 17, 11, 12, 15. So he's over this number 12.5, 4 out of his 6 games. He recently had an illness that kind of sapped him a little bit. And basically he hasn't scored less than double figures. He's living in double figures, and we got to get to 12.5. He's averaging 15.2 points per game on the season. So we're over Jaden Ivey at 12.5. We are also, as we shift to the night game here, and the last game that we will talk about here at NBA Props is the Clippers and the Rockets. And I'm all over the Clippers in this one, folks. I'm really curious to see this game tonight. A lot of eyes are going to be on the Clippers. You have the Rockets at home. Can you handle your business? Okay, because a lot of us in the NBA are starting to look at the Clippers like, yo, you all are just the Clippers. You're always going to be the Clippers. Shut us up tonight. I believe they will. I'm not betting money, though, on the Clippers to win the game. It's just what I think is going to happen. But what I would be betting money on, and I would be stacking it, folks, is the Los Angeles Clippers main scorers without Kawhi Leonard against the Houston Rockets defense. The Houston Rockets defense is that target defense, like the Detroit Lions, like the Miami Dolphins, like the Baltimore Ravens. They're a target defense, okay? So it's giddy up. And I would parlay all three of these guys. I would parlay Paul George and his over at 22.5. I would parlay that with Reggie Jackson and his over at 15.5. And I would parlay that with Marcus Morris and his over at 15.5. I would package them all together. Now, I want to try to put this parlay together for you, but DraftKings hasn't been letting me. And let me see if it's going to let me do it right now. It didn't earlier today. You can let me put this in here? It lets me put a bet in, but it won't let me like stack into a parlay. Come on, DraftKings, you're killing me. And you say, wow, what's the matter? Well, I'm in Florida, so I think they're as soon as I start going to the betting window thing here, it's like little messages pop up like, you can't bet, you're in Florida, you suck, all that kind of stuff. So it's weird. And so am I, and so are you, and it's Halloween, and I'm dressed like Fletch tonight, okay? But literally, here's what I want y'all to do. So keep comments coming, by the way. Frankie Pugs is in here. Frankie Pugs, I haven't seen you before, bro. Good to have you. We have, in fact, a pug. Me and my wife, Charity, we have a dog that is a pug, and she's awesome. Jalen is in here. Dave Poland is in here. Happy Halloween, y'all, man. It's so good to see you guys in here. Can one of you out there with access to FanDuel or DraftKings or SportBet or whatever the heck you're doing, can you see what the parlay is on the over on Paul George at 22.5, combined with the over on Reggie Jackson at 15.5 and the over on Marcus Morris at 15.5? I would love, and by the way, DM me your number. Maybe I'll Venmo you some cash. I'd like to play this one, man. Marcus Morris over 15.5, Reggie Jackson over 15.5, and Paul George over 22.5. I would love to know what that parlay situation is. So hit me up out there. But Paul George, look, again, it's the Rockets, okay? They allow they're 25th in points allowed at 119.6 points per game. They're dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Nothing has changed from last year in the fact that you target the Rockets for your guys to go off. You have no Kawhi. We talked about the Clippers really struggling right now. So the Houston Rockets are chicken soup. Chicken soup makes you feel better when you are sick. They're chicken soup, and they're going to be chicken soup tonight. And by the way, Paul George not playing well at all. He's averaging 19 points per game on 39% shooting, 26% from three. He's off to a horrible start. He did have an illness. He talked about how that kind of took energy and all that kind of stuff. But that was like several days ago. Like, he should be good, and they're going to be highly motivated tonight. I really like Paul George over 22.5. Reggie Jackson over 15.5. Okay, we're stacking here. He's really struggling too. All right, so I'm seeing a pop game for the LA Clippers. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves. Kawhi Leonard isn't coming back anytime soon. I mean, I don't know. He might come back in the next game, but it's like out indefinitely, this huge question mark. Flush it. It doesn't matter. He's Kawhi Leonard. He's somewhere wrapped in bubble wrap, okay, not playing. That's Kawhi Leonard. Like, he's probably going to play 31 games this year. Like, I don't know. I don't know where we're going here. I know that I'm done with him in fantasy basketball. I haven't drafted Kawhi Leonard in years. Like, years. The early on the come-up San Antonio day. And he's a marvelous player, don't get me wrong, but I can't do business with guys that have, I mean, he's like Mr. Unavailable. No, I can't do business with you. But Reggie Jackson is struggling this year. He's at 9.7 points per game, 38% from the field, 32% from three. These are not Reggie Jackson numbers. Think about that. He's at 9.7. Vegas has his clip tonight at 15.5. Hello, that should tell you something right there. They're seeing a big one from Reggie. They're seeing a big one from all these guys, just like I am. And by the way, we've got a bounce back factor. We got a breakout game factor. We've got you got to get a win for the Clippers factor. So much is heading in our direction here in a good way. And then Marcus Morris at 15.5. He is actually one Clipper who's playing well right now. So we're looking for him to ride a hot streak as we get this 3-player stacking of the Clippers against the Rockets parlay. Marcus is at 14.3 points per game, 57% from the field, 43% on threes. He's killing it. okay? All three of these players, Paul George and Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson, could all go 20-plus tonight. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me if then Norman Powell had 20 points as well, and you had 4 Clippers in the 20s. Would not surprise me one bit tonight. This is the Rockets. Again, we target the Rockets. We go after the Rockets, okay? So to sum up, we are you can play these individually or you can stack these. Marcus Morris over 15.5. Reggie Jackson over 15.5. Paul George over 22.5. All right? We've got Jaden Ivey over 12.5 as the Pistons play the Bucks. We have Tyrese Halliburton over 20.5, again, at the Nets. We have Kevin Durant over 31.5 tonight at home against the Pacers in an absolute must-win game. We've got the under on Trae Young at 28.5 up in Toronto. I don't see it tonight. And we've got the over on Tyrese Maxey, a bet up 22.5 from 21.5 tonight going against the Washington Wizards. And those are the prop bets for the evening, folks. So we'll try to be successful on those, and hopefully you guys and girls make some money on all that stuff on Halloween. That'd be kind of nice, right? I do want to tell you that coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern time, I want y'all to gather around the fire, okay? Warm up your hands and don't go anywhere. 9 o'clock Eastern tonight, we are giving away a signed Bryce Harper baseball. That's right. Bryce Harper baseball signed. It's authenticated. It's badass. The whole thing can be yours later on tonight. And so stay tuned for that. 9 o'clock Eastern time, signed Bryce Harper baseball. They literally cannot get this guy out in the playoffs. This is like a David Murphy type of playoff run right now from Bryce Harper, right? Like they can't get him out. You might as well. Barry Bonds comes to mind, although not in the playoffs. Regular season. Remember those tears that Barry Bonds would go on and they literally could not pitch to him? Like anything you throw up there was going into the drink there in San Fran. Obviously in the playoffs, Barry was not that way. He was a bit of a choke artist. Actually, I'll just go ahead and say he was a choke artist in the playoffs, like your guy, Aaron Judge. And I'm not mad at Aaron Judge. He's not overrated or anything like that, but he is a playoff choke artist. Go to the back of the baseball card. Take a look at the stats for yourself. No baseball tonight, folks. Game 3 will be tomorrow night, and then 4 and 5, so Tuesday through Thursday will be the look there in Philadelphia with the World Series tied 1-1. A little bit around the bend here. I'll let you know where I'm at in terms of the betting right now heading into Game 3 involving who is going to win it all. And we'll get into Week 8. We got so much to get into, man. But next, Ricky Prop stays in here dressed as Fletch, talking to you about props for Monday Night Football. Joe Mixon, it's 67.5. Am I going over this number or under this number? You're in a good spot on Halloween with your boy Rick Kamler right here on Bettor Sports Network.
Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamler. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo. He's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry, okay? Talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach, makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting, I'm going to bring up personal.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, in the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd, instead of looking at, like, Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that want to know why they're paranoid. They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not gonna start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with
It's
us.
one thing. Okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right?
Yeah, that can incite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play. What? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful?
It's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to my team.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Hurts takes it. He fakes. He's back. He's looking. He is going deep for A.J. Brown, who leaps, comes down with the football. It's a touchdown. Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He is going deep, and it is caught for a touchdown. A.J. Brown!
Touchdown number 2 on the day.
Now Scott to the right of Hurts. Hurts looks, fakes, still looking. He is going deep down the far side, and it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown! 29 yards!
All right, we are back on Bettor Sports Live. It is Rick Kamla on Halloween. Nice job by Tyler Soto and Anthony Rivera behind the glass putting that together. We will talk about Jalen Hurts coming up here in just a little bit. I mean, it was so freaking impressive. I wasn't like stricken with concern, but I had concerns about the Eagles coming out of their bye and how strong they would be. Would they be flat in a home game? You guys know this. The experienced bettors and anglists out there know this, that when a team is rolling going into the bye, sometimes they come out of the bye different. When a team is struggling going into the bye, sometimes they come out of the bye on the other end different, better, right? And when you go in 6-0, sometimes you come out and you have a dud. It just born of inactivity. I don't know, like feeling yourself, getting attaboys all over town. Did not happen. Philadelphia handled their business. Think about the Bucks couldn't. Remember, they went to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh handled them really and beat them in a close game. And Pittsburgh went and got thrashed by Philadelphia. To give you an idea of the separation between Philly and Tampa Bay right now based on a common opponent. So Frankie Pug's right here. And my guy Dave Polin and all these guys. So Frankie Pug says plus 750 for all three in a parlay. So 20 will get you 170. I'd be all over that. And that's my kind of bet on something like that. I wouldn't go 50 or a honey on that. I'd go 20 on that though, right? And try to kind of get a boom for a $20 bet. A $50 bet would be more like, I really like so-and-so tonight. Let's just go ahead and do that. And I do like money lines as well. If you got some bankroll that you've got some wiggle room to work with that. But I really like those odds a lot. And if you're like, what are you stacking here? We're stacking Clippers against the Rockets tonight because the Rockets defense is extraordinarily bad and they don't have Kawhi Leonard. And it's Paul George at 22.5, Reggie Jackson at 15.5, and Marcus Morris at 15.5. I like the over on all three of them. Let's stack it. Let's really make some money here. So I'm hanging out as Fletch right here. I got the old Magic Johnson, like really old. Like if I wore this jersey, it's so old that if I wore this jersey without a shirt on underneath it, I would take you to the gun show and it'd be way too sexy. But if I did it, like the skin would have an irritation problem. Like it's one of those old like 80s style jerseys with the sewn on numbers and all that kind of stuff. But underneath it doesn't feel great. So you got to wear a t-shirt under it. But anyway, I am Fletch tonight for Halloween, and happy Halloween, everybody. All right, so let's get into some props here for Monday Night Football. Joe Mixon, we talked about him, and I teased him going to break here at 67.5. Let's go over this number, folks. He has hit this number twice all season, which is not a good stat for us going over tonight. But the Bengals just lost Jamar Chase for several weeks. We're looking for a change in calculus. We just got it. okay, that should, I'll be watching for this tonight, should cause a shift in play calling slightly by the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't understand how it couldn't. Jamar Chase is it's right there with Burrow, right? Who's the best offensive player on the Cincinnati Bengals? Like, okay, let's flip a coin here. I mean, literally in my brain, I'm like, I'd probably rather have Burrow. I mean, I feel like I can go to the SEC in the drafting, and get a stud wideout. I'm not trying to diminish Jamar Chase. The guy is special, okay? But the Joe Burrows, have you seen the state of quarterbacking this year in the National Football League, right? I ain't giving up Joe Burrow right now. No. You could offer me 10 armies, man. You ain't getting Burrow off my hands. Is there a quarterback in any of those armies? No. Well, then you can keep your armies. I'm going to keep Joe Burrow. I believe there's going to be a little bit of a shift, a little bit of an emphasis on running the ball tonight. Or Joe Mixon. Last year, his rushing attempts per game were at 18 per game. This year, he's down to 17 per game. This is probably going to cause that to hike back up to like 17 a game like 18 a game for Joe Mixon. Oh, by the way, did I mention the Cleveland Browns are horrible against the run? They're 25th, giving up 135 yards per game on the ground. That is the defense that Joe Mixon's going up against tonight. Joe Mixon has a strong track record against Cleveland in his career. 8 games played, big sample size. We're at 19 carries for 89 yards on average. Well over this number of 67.5. Again, on average. We could have some moisture tonight. I love hitting my wife with that word. It bothers her. I just say moisture, moisten, moist, and it bothers the hell out of her. I don't know if it does to you too. Out there, hit join the show and or the call button and talk here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Moist. Does it bother you? If it does, I'll keep saying it. But anyway, it might be moist tonight in Cleveland, okay? That may lead to a little bit more ground goodies here. By the way, we have the principle of due in play. Joe Mixon is due for a big game, okay? He hasn't hit 100 all year long, going up against the defense, giving up 135 per game on the ground. Hello? We can't get a breakout tonight. When the hell can we get the breakout game from Joe Mixon? So we're going over 67.5 on main man Mixon. We've got Nick Chubb over 83.5. Boy, I like this prop. I like this prop quite a bit, folks. Minus 130 to the over when I looked at it earlier. The Bengals are not great against the run. They're below average, better than the Browns, but they're below average against the run. 17th in the league, giving up 119 rushing yards per game. Nick Chubb's career against Cincinnati speaks to the over here. He's at 95 rushing yards per game in 7 meetings head-to-head with the Cincinnati Bengals. We got to get to 83.5. Nick Chubb is due for a 100-yard game, in my opinion. He's gone 2 straight under 100 after 4 of 5 over it, okay? Started the season 4 out of 5 over. It's been 2 straight under 100 yards. And so I think that changes tonight, especially because it's a home game. It's a very navigable matchup. It's like a real sweet spot for Nick Chubb tonight. And I'm not even going to hit you with the national TV thing. Nick Chubb, I don't know the man. I know of the man. He's not moved by this. He's not. Bright lights, Monday Night Football, Joe Buck Trey. I mean, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's just a hard-working, down-to-earth, humble, when I'm not playing, leave me the hell alone type of guy. I love Nick Chubb. He's an awesome, awesome guy. Comes from a great family, and so he's not moved by this either way. It's not an angle here with Nick Chubb. Like Kevin Durant in a TNT game, Kevin Durant in a front, okay, that's an angle. And some guys are like that, and some guys are just the same, flatline the whole time. Nick Chubb has been over this number, 83.5, in 6 of 7 games this year. He's living over this number. And how about the trade rumors about Kareem Hunt? Yes. Remember, he requested a trade in August, and now there are trade rumors swirling around him in advance of tomorrow's trade deadline. We will have trade deadline coverage for you right here with Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live later on tonight on Halloween. Speaking of later on tonight, Bryce Harper, anyone? Signed Bryce Harper baseball giveaway at 9 o'clock Eastern time tonight. To win, you got to follow at Bettor Network. That's Bettor Network on Twitter. You got to retweet. And, the tweet that we put out about the signed baseball by Bryce. And you got to listen to the show. All right. Seems pretty cool to me. Follow Bettor Network, retweet the tweet, and listen and hang out with your boy Cam and all the other great hosts right here. and you have a chance to win a Bryce Harper signed baseball tonight. Okay, so Nick Chubb, folks, and the rumors about Kareem Hunt. Do you believe if the Cleveland Browns feel like they can trade, Kareem Hunt will be an unrestricted free agent in the offseason? Ask yourself this question. If the Cleveland Browns feel like they can get anything for Kareem Hunt, as opposed to just having him be, at this point, a rather average running back and heading into a offseason of free agency where you know you're not going to bring him back, don't you think you would want to hold on to Kareem Hunt for one more night, bubble wrap him a little bit, reduce his exposure to risk and injury, to give yourself that opportunity to trade him before tomorrow's deadline? I believe that's going to be in play here. I don't know. Let's check the inactives right here and see. But it would not surprise me if they deactivated him tonight. It really wouldn't. But the bottom line is here, folks. Nick Chubb is going to get a full green light from your boy Cam in terms of Kareem Hunt. And look, I don't know if they're going to get an asset. I really wouldn't be giving up an asset for Kareem Hunt right now, but you never know. The inactives, folks. David Njoku, we knew that. Denzel Ward, guard Wyatt Teller, Kellen Mond, linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah, offensive tackle Chris Hubbard, and DT Perion Winfrey. They are out tonight. They're inactive tonight. And Better Boss, I did see you with Harrison Bryant. I do like Harrison Bryant tonight. I believe Better Boss had his reception prop at 3.5. Frankie Pugs is saying that. Weren't you on that too, Better Boss, a.k.a. Matt Deutsch? He says, I'm Mr. Harrison Bryant. I've been rostering him in Dynasty League since he's coming in. Better Boss, what are you feeling? Harrison Bryant over 3.5 receptions. That's the question. Frankie Pugs is all over that at a plus 125. So interesting stuff right there. But in terms of the Bengals, Hayden Hurst, no surprise, is active. I've got him in a bunch of lineups going on tonight. Stanley Morgan, wide receiver. Travion Williams. Man, once upon a time, Travion Williams was a beast of a running back for Texas A&M. An absolute beast. Shredder in the SEC. Why can't, you got Joe Mixon, like this guy's just never gotten an opportunity. Some guys are just buried and they never get their shot. He's one of those guys like, yo, you're still on Cincinnati after all these years? What the hell, man? Eli Apple is inactive tonight. Josh Tapua, DT, offensive lineman Dante Smith, and guard Jackson Carman. Those are your inactives for tonight's Monday Night Football game. We're breaking it down prop bet style for you right here. We are over Nick Chubb at 83.5 rushing yards. We are over Joe Mixon at 67.5 rushing yards. I like both of them. Now, to use the I tell you what, let's go ahead and stack this. Let's parlay this. Let's go over Nick Chubb at 83.5. Let's go under Kareem Hunt at 37.5. See what we did there? I don't believe Kareem Hunt's going to be playing very much football tonight. I don't. I think they're going to, he may be out there. He's not inactive, so he's going to be active. I'm not saying he's not going to get the ball. He ain't getting the ball 13 times. Nope. Nick Chubb needs a blow. Go on out there, son. Nick Chubb doesn't need a blow. Why don't you stand over here by me? It's a mandate from the front office. Out of my hands, bro. Let's go under Kareem Hunt at 37.5. Plus 100 to the under. So we're flat on the odds here. 37.5. Let's go under that number tonight with Kareem Hunt. Last whatever game it was, Monday night, we went under on Mac Jones, right? I was worried about him getting pulled for Bailey Zappi. That, in fact, happened. So sometimes you got to vibe it out a little bit. And I have a vibe that Kareem Hunt isn't going to see the field very much tonight. Let's go under 37.5. He's already been getting phased out of this offense, folks. The signs have already been there. Check this out. In the first 5 games for Kareem Hunt this year, he was at 10-plus carries in each game. First 5 games, 10-plus carries in each game, consistently siphoning off production from the great Nick Chubb. He had 46-plus rushing yards in each of the first 5 games. In the last 2 games, Kareem Hunt has 9 carries and 16 yards. You tell me, is the phase-out underway, or is it just coincidence? It is not just coincidence, folks. The Browns don't want to do business with Kareem Hunt anymore, and they will until they don't have to anymore, and that's why I don't think he's going to see the field very much tonight. Very, very hard time seeing 10-plus carries for Kareem Hunt to get to this number. So let's go over Nick Chubb at 83.5, parlay it with the under on Kareem Hunt at 37.5. What are those odds? Why don't you tell me what those odds are out there, smart fellows, smart ladies here on Halloween, hanging out with their boy Rick Kamla here on Bettor Sports Live. Continuing on with prop bets here on the National Football League. Amari Cooper, 53.5 receiving yards. Let's go over this number, folks. Amari Cooper, what do we know? I'm going to give you all a minute to think about this. What do we know about Amari Cooper and his home road splits this year? Quick little pop quiz for you here. What do we know? Think about it. What do we know about Amari Cooper's home road splits? We know that he sucks on the road, and we know that he kicks ass at home. That's what we know. So we're going over 53.5 here. We know the deal by now, okay? Last week, Cooper finally had a good road performance, and it was only good. 3 carries, 74 yards, right? Woo, 10.4 fantasy points. Awesome. But that was Jerry Rice compared to the first 2 on the road. I'm telling you, like 3 catches, 6 yards or something. Like it was like abysmal, like invisible. Amari Cooper, at home, here's his flow. 101, 101, 76, and then 44 in that terribly weird game against the New England Patriots. That was just such a weird game. And by the way, a complete stinker by the Browns. They're not laying a stinker tonight. They're not. They may lose, but they're not laying a stinker tonight. Not happening tonight. They're going to be competitive tonight, I believe. I mean, this is a death game. They're 2-5. Season's on the line. You're at home. Monday Night Football. Hello. Come on. It's a good spot for Cleveland. You got to admit that. It's a good spot for Cleveland. Amari Cooper, we're going over 53.5. The Bengals are 9th against the pass, giving up 202 yards per game. So, that's obviously not a good. We usually don't target top 10 pass defenses here, but it's the home road splits. They're so strong. Amari Cooper has received 10-plus targets in all 4 home games this year. He has 14 total targets in 3 road games, an average of less than 5 per game. He has not had a home game with fewer than 10 targets. Hello. Okay. that home road split it's the biggest in the NFL off the top of my head. Of the research that I've done here, pushing these bets and these wagers to you, it's the biggest one that I can remember. The most vast. Like, oh my God, this guy's literally 2 different guys at home and away. So let's get to just a couple more here. Prop bets in tonight's Monday Night Football game. We'll take a break and we'll give you my vibe on the game as a whole. Okay, we're going to do some more stacking here. So we're or parlaying, right? Either play. How about this? Play them individually and parlay them. Woo! How about that? That's what I'd be doing. I would like to live vicariously through you. Make some money off these bets, y'all. So what we're doing here with Jamar Chase out. Remember we talked about the Clippers and Paul George and Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris. We're stacking them. We're parlaying them because no Kawhi Leonard and you're playing against the Rockets defense, which we all should be targeting. Giddy up. Let's just go across the board. Okay. With tonight's game, Monday Night Football, we are going to stack the receivers for the Cincinnati Bengals without Jamar Chase. So let's just bet them all. You can be picky and exclusive and all that if you want. That's cool. I would be playing them all, looking for the 4-0, knowing that I'm probably at worst going to be 3-1. And if all hell breaks loose, I'll be 2-2 and I'll push. Okay. So I'd be playing all 4, being like, I may go 4-0. I'm not going to do worse than 2-2. All right, let's do this. And then you play the parlay to really get some bang for the buck. Like if you really had it dialed in tonight and you got it right with all 4 of them, well, then really maximize the money you can make off of that. But with Jamar Chase out, we're going to stack the remaining receivers for the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to try to run the table here. So T. Higgins is at 74.5. We're going over that number, and it's a minus 135 last I saw on DraftKings. T. Higgins has been over this number in 3 of his last 4 games with Chase in the lineup. T. Higgins is a number 1 receiver. cast as a number 2 because the number 1 is better than him. That's what's going on here. T. Higgins is not a number 2 receiver. He's a number 1 receiver. And that's why the Cincinnati Bengals offense is so elite and so powerful, why they went to the Super Bowl. They're that good. Like 2 number 1s in the same offense. To a degree, I look at Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown that way. But Devontae Smith hadn't had the chance to, neither has T. Higgins, to show that, I'm a number 1 guy, right? Last year, rookie year. Okay, now, boom, you're the number 2. So who knows? Maybe Devontae Smith will never know if he could have mushroomed into a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. What I know is that the guy that I watched at Alabama who won the Heisman freaking trophy and was open all day, every day, no matter who he played against. That guy's a monster, man. An absolute monster. I still have him as the number 1 receiver. So I believe, I know it's not proven yet. A lot of you are like, huh? But I believe that Philly has 2 number 1 receivers with the guys they have. And so Cincinnati here for T. Higgins, this is talent meets opportunity because he is a number 1 receiver, cast as a number 2, gets the targets of a number 2, but now he's the number 1. Booyah. Cash in. 74.5 minus 135. Let's go. Tyler Boyd, 62.5. Okay, we're going over this number, obviously, stacking it, parlaying it, put it in between a sandwich with the peanut butter and jelly. Do what you got to do with it, man. Last week in the game where Jamar Chase got hurt, Tyler Boyd went 8 grabs, 155, and 1 score, and had 9 targets for those 8 catches. In the previous game, of course, with a healthy Chase, 6 catches, 66 yards on 6 targets. So you can see there that when Burrow throws the ball to Boyd, it is vacuumed in. He does not drop balls, although he dropped a big one in the Super Bowl, which was weird, but he's not a ball dropper, and he's a slot. We love that. Volume close to the quarterback. 62.5. Bang it. Go over on it, folks. Hayden Hurst, 36.5. We're going over this number. Minus 120 last I saw to the over. He's been trending up in recent games. The flow there going 53, 21, 48. Over this number in 2 of the last 3. The targets over those last 3 have gone 7, down to 3, up to 8. And the Browns' defense against tight ends is okay. They allow 46 receiving yards per game to tight ends. So we need 36.5. The Browns' average against this position is 10 plus. I like that spot. And again, Hayden Hurst over 36.5. Joe Mixon over 22.5. Yes, I'm not hitting you with Mike Thomas and all these other guys. I'm hitting you with the bread and butter guys. Higgins, Boyd, Hurst, and Joe Mixon. Yes, we're going over Joe Mixon with the receiving yards and the rushing yards. 22.5 is our number here, receiving yards for Joe Mixon. It was minus 120 to the over earlier on. The flow here, Mixon's gone over this number in 4 of 7. 63, then 26, then 14, then 13, then 10, then 23, then 33. Last week he had 33. So he's over this number in 4 out of 7. He's over this number in 5 of 8 career meetings against Cleveland. These are not strong over trends, but they are over trends. And when we stack them, then I think collectively it becomes strong. The Browns are slightly above average against the pass this year, as we said, allowing 210 yards per game. But the Browns give up 26.7 receiving yards per game to running backs. So their average against this position is over the number we're trying to get against a really good pass catching receiver in Joe Mixon. So to sum it up for you all, Ricky Props here for Monday Night Football. Joe Mixon over 22.5 receiving yards. Hayden Hurst over 36.5 receiving yards. Tyler Boyd over 62.5 receiving yards. T. Higgins over 74.5 receiving yards. Stack it, parlay it. Jamar Chase is out. These guys have to backfill his production, and I like all 4 of them tonight, okay? Also, we're going over on Amari Cooper at 53.5 receiving yards. We are going over on, under on Kareem Hunt at 37.5 rushing yards. And parlay it, stack it, however you want with Nick Chubb. We're going over him at 83.5, under Kareem Hunt at 37.5. And then lastly here for the NFL props, we've got Joe Mixon over 67.5 rushing yards. And we've got all kinds of prop plays in action right here. all kinds of them. So I want to come back. Let's spin you around the NBA quickly here and get some of the themes of the night going with that. Then we will get into, I tell you what, let's reorder that. I'll come back and tell you who I think is going to win the game tonight, Bengals or Browns. Then we'll spin you around the NBA and take a look into some of the early developments with our prop bets there. And we got the ball game up here around the corner, folks. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. It's Halloween. It's Monday Night Football. Hanging out with your boy Rick Kamla and all you beautiful people. Stay where you are. We are Bettor Sports Live.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Moose and Keith with you. Let's welcome aboard right now, Iron Eagle.
One of the great stories that I have from doing notes on a plane, and you always get people looking over. They see color-coded uniform numbers, names, height, weight, age, background, hometown. And I had a woman sitting next to me on a flight, and I'm doing my notes, and she's kind of giving the look, then looking. And I can tell she's looking. And then finally, she'll say, so what is it that you do? Well, what do you think I do? I said, are you a wedding planner? I said, yes. I said, I have to put Rob Gronkowski at Tom Brady's table. I said, you know what? You're not correct, but it's the best answer I've ever heard.
That's great.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
As far as fantasy life, fantasy executive, it's going to be a football life. The fantasy executive is probably going to be the best football life ever.
Who will be the guest? Everyone who was on yesterday, basically.
Yeah, everybody that's on yesterday will be the guest. Scott Engel, you know what I'm saying? Adam Rodas. Yeah, everybody, those people. Because what Nando, obviously you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the GST and shoot some scenes. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
We'll shoot some scenes in Midtown Manhattan. Antonio Brown can be on my football life,
That'd
right?
be nice.
Because that's a big part of my come up as a fantasy analyst. Everybody, the football life, the fantasy executive is going to be for the people. When they do the football life on the fantasy executive, I'm going to be hands on.
Good. Yeah. You talking to you.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Cheetos or Doritos?
I truly love both. Cool Ranch Doritos.
Wow.
I grew up on Cheetos. I was a big Chester Cheetah guy.
Oh, nice.
But Ray, as I have aged into adulthood, I've moved away from the fun that is the Cheeto, and I've gone to the, more cosmopolitan Cool Ranch Dorito chip. So I'm probably a Cool Ranch guy. How about you?
I would go Doritos. I don't like Cool Ranch. The traditional, original, regular, whatever it is really good. But my favorite's actually Sweet Chili, the purple bag. Oh, it's delicious. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The one that sucks, and I think we can all agree on this one, taco.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, and I'm perfect at a lot of things. My Dorito trivia is a little shaky.
Okay.
A little shaky. But I think taco is the first flavor.
Handoff, Pollard stars a hole in left side 10. Cuts right 5. Walk the dog, you Tony Pollard. Walk that dog. Touchdown, Dallas. Fields in the gun. Back to throw. Parsons coming. He flushes out left. He stops. He dumps it short to the 25. Still moving Montgomery. Fumble the ball. Recovered by Dallas. Micah Parsons is on the ball.
And he's still alive.
He's still running. He's still moving with the ball. To the 10, to the 5, to the goal line. Parsons recovered a fumble and brought it all the way back. 3rd and 1. Handoff, Pollard coming left. Foot in the ground. First down and more. 50. Good block from the tight end. Sideline. Keep running. 10, 5. Touchdown. Tony Pollard.
What a game from Tony Pollard. Not one, not two, but 3 touchdowns. And Tony Pollard managers. Christmas came early. You got your wish. Get Zeke out of here. He's a bum. He can't run anymore. His average per carry is awful. My guy needs to get the rock. All that. Ding! We saw what all that's about. And I knew it, and you knew it. We know who the better back is. We know who's got more juice, more burst. We know that we should have more of an even split. Maybe Zeke Elliott is the short yardage guy, the blend-in guy, and Pollard's the main dude. We all get all that. 3 touchdowns, though, for Tony Pollard as an RB2 taking over. It was really kind of the Sunday of the RB2. Deontay Foreman scoring 1, 2, 3 against the Atlanta Falcons. And, hey, shout out real quickly here to my boy Tyler Soto, the producer of this show. He's a Falcons fan, okay? And so I'm watching the game, and the Falcons have the lead, and PJ Walker throws an 800-yard pass, and I'm like, there's no way that's going to land in somebody's hands. Like, I thought it was like out of the end zone when he let go of it. Sure enough, DJ Moore with 2 defenders all around him dives into the back of the end zone and catches the ball for a touchdown. I literally, I was like, I can't believe that. I said it like 7 times. Like, it's one of the coolest things I've seen in the NFL this year was that touchdown pass right there. And then, of course, the dumbassery with pulling your helmet off because you thought it was a walk-off. Bro, there's still time on the clock. And so it backs up Eddie Pinheiro. He chokes and misses the PAT. We go to overtime. And Younghoe Shu Younghoe Koo is an absolute badass. He's a weapon. So you go, boop, we win, you lose. And now the Falcons are 4-4. But oh my God, so much to unpack with Week 8 in the NFL, and we did a little bit of it right there. But folks, don't expect, oh man, when the Cowboys come off by that Pollard's going to be this guy, and I really got something on my hands here. You do if Zeke Elliott is hurt and out of the lineup. If he is not hurt and out of the lineup, you have Tony Pollard in the lane that he was in, getting 8, 10, 13 carries and doing what he can in those carries and touches, right? It's where it's at. Jerry Jones doubled down on that earlier today. So you unfortunately are not going to get what you want. We have Monday Night Football coming up around the corner here, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. And the line has really been moving a lot today, folks. It's been toggling back and forth between 3 and 3.5. Right now it is set at 3 as we approach kickoff, about 20 minutes away. So when I first saw this earlier this morning, it was Bengals -3. Then I got off the air on NBA radio, checked it, and it was up to 3.5. Then I checked it again, and it's back to 3. So it's gone up. It's come back down. We've had some Bengal money come in to shoot it to 3.5, some Brown money coming back in, taking that hook, and then Vegas readjusting and getting back down to 3. I have a vibe on the Browns tonight. I do. Who's the better football team? We all know who the better football team is. We know. Does the better football team always win? We also know the answer to that. This is going to be one of those nights. It's Halloween. Okay. Hey, Rick Kamla, Better Sports Live. Welcome to the show here on Halloween. You're like, what's with the Laker jersey, Cam? You a Laker fan? No, I used to be. I was a Showtime Laker fan. But Fletch, it's my Halloween costume for the night. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear like a Wolfman mask or an Elvis mask or a Ronald Reagan mask. And, talk like this through a mask all day. I'm not going to do that. So this is the best I got. It's the best I got. We got the goodies, we got the props, and we got an old Magic Johnson jersey that we're turning into a Fletch costume. I know. I can dig it. But I'm vibing on the Browns tonight. Why, you ask? Even bad teams rise up. We just saw it from the Denver Broncos. At 2-5, given up for dead. Their coach has a guillotine above his head. They're trying to trade Chubb and Judy and this guy and that guy. Russell Wilson is a shell of his former self. So, of course, they go to London and beat the Jaguars. Of course, it's the most NFL thing ever and the most Russell Wilson thing ever. I told you last week. I told you he's going to go to London and win that game. I don't know if he's going to win another game. Hell, I don't know if he's going to, my shoulder. Oh, my hamstring. And come back to the States and be like, yo, I'm good. I went to London and won this huge stage game. By the way, the last huge stage game, I believe Denver will play this year. Maybe not. I mean, they won. They got to 3-5. But Denver went into that game so bad and in such disrepair. And they won. And they look decent. All right? They look, as best I got, they look decent. We get that game from the Browns tonight, I believe. I think we get that game from the Browns tonight. At some point, when you're a team like the Browns, 2-5, you suck this year, you get tired of getting pushed around. You get tired. And You're at home on Monday Night Football. You know the whole city's talking about it. The dog pound's going to be lit tonight. And I just have a vibe on the Browns. The Bengals should win this game, even without Jamar Chase, because they have the weapons. Like, they had an embarrassment of riches before he went down. Now they just have like a really good set of skill players, right? Before it was like when Kevin Durant was with Golden State. Now it's like, okay, you got Clay and Draymond and Steph. Okay, still really, really good. Minus the Durant piece. The Bengals have won 4 out of, think about this too. This is a confluence of a team a little bit too high and a team a little bit too low. The Bengals have won 4 of 5, and they crushed Atlanta last week. So they're riding high into this one. We know the NFL is a week-to-week league. We know the NFL is a regression to the mean league. We know the NFL is a correction league. We know the NFL is a humbling league. The Bengals have won 4 out of 5, and they crushed Atlanta last week. The Browns have lost 4 in a row, and they are in a death game at home on Monday Night Football against a division rival. That should be exciting to you. That should be enticing to you. It's not the teams. It's the spot for both teams. That's where my lean is here. That's where my vibe is here. It's not the teams. It's the spot for both teams. And it's because I don't like the way Cleveland is trajecting into this game. And I do like the way the Bengals are heading into this game. Ironically, that's why I'm flipping it for this game. Because Cleveland's not going to lose every game the rest of the year. They're not. Cleveland is going to beat a team that they shouldn't beat the rest of the year. The Bengals are going to lose a game that they shouldn't lose the rest of the year. It happens tonight on Halloween. So we have a signed Bryce Harper baseball coming up for you 1 hour from now, 9 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to give away a signed Bryce Harper baseball to you. Why? Because we love you. We do. And we want you to follow at Bettor Network, at Bettor Network on Twitter, and that's with an O in Bettor. Follow us on Twitter, retweet the tweet, and that you see out here on the Bryce Harper autograph baseball. And listen, it's that simple. It's really not that hard. And folks, you can hit join the show, and we'd encourage you to do that. Hit the call button, and right next to the fun button, you'll have the option of an audio or a video call. You can get in here with that. Be cool to hang out with you guys, or you can just continue to join the show. You can continue to get into the comment section here with your boy Cam. And speaking of that, let's check these out a little bit too. A Better Boss says, my wife's family hates it when I say moist too. Better Boss, you can relate. But Better Boss, your wife is okay that you say moist, but her family is not okay that you say moist. I guess that speaks to the love, man. It really does. Y'all are in sync that way. But that's pretty funny right there. Moist like drives a lot of people crazy. I don't know why. Out there, you guys, Frankie Pugs, Hurdle is in here. Hurdle, what's up, man? Hurdle says, any David Bell interest as a DK showdown punt? No, sir. I do not have interest in David Bell as a DK showdown punt. I don't. Knock yourself out though, Hurdle, and I'll keep you in mind here as we watch the game and check box scores tonight and see if your boy is getting busy here, doing some things. Frankie Pug says, I think Bengals win by a field goal tonight. It'd be right on the number. It'd be a push. Wouldn't surprise me at all, my friend. Would not surprise me at all. Hurdle says Mike Thomas, question mark, the now third receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. Mike Thomas. David Bell. I would go Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas has always kind of been that thorn in the side of Bengals receiver, right? You're watching the game and maybe you're in a bar and you're like looking up and, wow, look at that play down the field. Who is that? Is it T? Is it Jamar? Am I getting points? You're like, oh, it's 80. It's Mike Thomas. Like, he's been a playmaker for this team, before now with Jamar Chase out. That's why he's on the roster. That's why he's ascending to their number 3 guy. Hopefully it works out better for you if you go with Mike Thomas than Ray McLeod worked out, right, at San Fran as, he's going to ascend in the passing game with Deebo Samuel out and all this kind of stuff. At least it's the thought that I had. That did not come to fruition at all. So it is Rick Kamla here on Monday Night Football. We've unpacked the props for you here. And with basketball and with football, we do get no baseball tonight with the World Series being postponed. Game 3 will be played tomorrow. And I had it all lined up here, folks. I had us taking the Astros on the money line with McCullers. Have they switched the pitching matchup here, fellas? Tyler Soto, Anthony Rivera, since the postponement was announced, or are we still going to get batting practice Syndergaard going up against who was on the mound for McCullers on the mound for the Houston Astros? Oh, okay. Anthony Rivera is on the beat right now. I went to ESPN.com here, and they have switched it. ESPN.com right now has Lance McCullers and Ranger Suarez up here. So look, you could extrapolate a little bit of an advantage here. Not an advantage, but a little bit of a benefit here for Philadelphia with the rain out here. Earlier today, I don't know if they, you guys tell me, I don't know if they shifted this during the day. Last I heard, when I did some digging on this morning, it was Syndergaard on the mound for Philly tonight. And so tomorrow now it will be Ranger Suarez. I would rather have Ranger Suarez on the mound right now than Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard is nothing more than an opener right now. That's all he is. 2 innings, 3 innings, maybe 4. Like if he really gets hot, he just hasn't pitched very many pitches, in these games, in these appearances he's made in the playoffs. I mean, I don't believe he's going to go. I mean, he's 6'6", 240. He's a stud, all that. But I don't know if he's going to go out there and throw 75, 85, 90 pitches tonight. So Ranger Suarez, we saw, a really fine start recently. He will be able to go, 75 pitches, something like that. So that's good news for Philadelphia, this rain out right here. It really is. I have more. I don't have good news for Philadelphia here in terms of their basketball side. The Sixers right now are losing to the Washington Wizards, 1:35 to go in the first half. And it is 52-49. Washington over Philadelphia right now. James Harden and Tyrese Maxey both getting busy here. Harden has 15. He's got 7 assists. Tyrese Maxey, more importantly, we need to get him to 22.5 or 21.5. Pretty sure it was 22.5. I will double check that. He's at 11 right now for Tyrese Maxey. So we're tracking towards the number. I feel good about where we're at right now. We get one more bucket here from Maxey before the end of the half. We'll be at 13 or 14 and then really be on the plus side of the pace to get the over on 22.5. But James Harden is at 15. And like I said, Maxey at 11. I did look at Bradley Beal and I thought about the under and put it in. I'm just not an under fan. Should have. Bradley Beal, what is going on with Bradley Beal? You're killing me in Cam Dynasty, bro. Killing me. 4 points. What is this? 3 assists, 3 rebounds. We're almost at halftime, folks. He's on pace for a Draymond Green line, a triple single with 8, 6, and 6. Brad Beal, what's up, dude? This won't do. He's taking 5 shots, and he is so willingly taking a back seat. Like, can we get back to the 30-point per game Bradley Beal? Can we get back to the 25-point per game Bradley Beal? Ay. It might be time to sell high, man. Like, if you're in a redraft league, offer up Bradley Beal for guard of your liking. You got to know that Beal's value is a little bit depressed. My point is here, I think it's going to get worse. Like, you got all these guys, and Kuzma's having a good year, and Porzingis is healthy for now. But I just got to wait until Porzingis gets hurt, and then Bradley Beal will be activated. That's not a winning formula or a winning strategy. All right. So, yeah, it's not good right now for Bradley Beal. Yesterday, by the way, he lost me a category to Justin Finsterman yesterday. Yes, he did. I got Justin was kicking my ass in the Cam Dynasty last week. And then I made a comeback. I decided to go all big and go field goal percentage on him and go because he already had me in assists and rebounds and points and threes. Had me. Couldn't catch up. His team went off, and he's got a good team, obviously. I couldn't catch up. So I was beating him in field goal percentage, and I got it to a 4-4. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, blocks, and steals. It's an 8-category league. And it came down to field goal percentage. And yesterday, I started Bradley Beal, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have, but I'm like, it's Bradley Beal. Like, I mean, he'd been like his field goal percentage had been pretty good going into that game. And I was like he's not going to ruin me today. He's Bradley Beal. He ruined me. He went like 4 of 16 or something like that and took me below Justin in field goal percentage. If Justin's listening right now, he's snickering. He's like, yep, he did. So Bradley Beal lost that game for me last night. And I'm not happy about it. No, I'm not. I lost to Justin. Justin's my boy. He's my partner in crime. He's my brethren. I ain't trying to lose to him, though. You know what I'm saying? And I did. I took an L to Justin, and we're not off to a good start here. And Maxey did get the bucket I was looking for, and we are at the half. It is 52-52, Sixers and Wizards, and Maxey has 13. And so he's on pace for 26. We need 22.5. Giddy up, and we're looking good right there. We went under on Trae Young at 28.5. Let's take a look-see at the box here. And we're off to a good start, folks. The first quarter is in the books. They're about a minute into quarter number 2. Toronto leads Atlanta right now 34-31, and Trae Young does not have a field goal yet. He has 3 points on three free throws. He has missed 2 shots, and John Collins is really the volume guy here. Him and Justin Holiday off the bench hasn't missed a shot. But we're trending in a good direction there on Trae Young, under 28.5. If you're just joining us, and why? Well, Toronto's defense is why. Their defense is absolutely nasty and schemed to stop and or limit guys like Trae Young, and that's what they're doing tonight so far for Trae. 0 for 2 from the field. Again, very early. We're at the beginning of the second quarter here. He's about to start his second shift in probably a couple of minutes, but 3 points, as we said, is looking decent for us right there. We also had we went over Kevin Durant. We went over Tyrese Halliburton. It's early here. And I told you, Brooklyn is going to house this team, and they are for now. 33-18. Brooklyn leads Indiana. Is the Brooklyn Nets? They had to get a win tonight, folks. I mean, had to. No other option. They're 1-5 coming in here at home against the Pacers. You have to win this game. I mean, you might as well shut down the operation if you can't win this game. And we told you that Kevin Durant was going to have a big one tonight. There was no other option, no other conclusion, no other anything. And he's having a big one tonight. He's 4 of 6 from the field. He's at 13 points. His prop is 31.5, which is a massive point prop. And we went over it. And we're looking good on that. 13 points. He's tracking towards a 50-piece right now. Kevin Durant, I'm not saying he's going to hit 50 tonight. He's tracking towards it, though, through one period in the NBA. So that's what's up, man. Kevin Durant looks like he's going to go over his number. Tyrese Halliburton, by the way, we went over him at 20.5. Obviously, the sort of game script and the way we're headed here isn't great, but I told you, even if the Nets smash the Pacers tonight, we can still get to 21 with Tyrese Halliburton. And as I say that, the Pacers just made it 3, and they got it to 14, actually temporarily 12. But they're hanging in there a little bit. But anyway, Halliburton is at 4 right now through 9 minutes of work. He'll have 3 more shifts on the court, and so we'll see. Remember, we've had all these games, right, where Tyrese Halliburton's been, oh, man, we're not really looking good on this. And then, boom, he catches fire and starts going crazy and bucket. And then I'll look back like 15 minutes later, I'm like, hey, Tyrese Halliburton's in the winner's circle, right? Like, that's been the year that we've been having and that he's been having on these prop bets. So let's see if we can keep that going. But looking good on Kevin Durant right there. And let's check the Sacramento and Charlotte box. And let's see, did we go anybody in this one? I don't believe we did. But Charlotte is kicking Sac's butt right now. All 5 starters for the Charlotte Hornets are in double figures here. And for Sacramento, let's see what De'Aaron Fox is doing. Small game. He's got 8 points here at halftime. I mean, Sac is going to sack, man, right? Sac is going to sack. They're always sack. 40% from the field, 33% on threes. Like just a lame Dudley performance right there by Sacramento. We've got Jaden Ivey coming up here. The game actually just tipped off. We got Jaden Ivey over 12.5 points for his point prop. And we are tracking it here for you and trying to make you some money, trying to billow the statistics just a little bit. Frankie Pug says Tyrese Halliburton is a stud. Dave Poland says Ricky Props is on a tear. that's not incorrect. I'm humble. I just give you the stats with no hot sauce. Last Thursday, the last time we were on, we were 5-1 on NBA props, 5-1. So we're looking to stay hot. We're well over 60% on the season, at like 64%, something like that. So we're trying to look, man. You guys know me. I'm a stat guy. And I'm a perfectionist, and I'm competitive as hell. And I'm trying to get these right, and I'm keeping stats on it. Okay. Better Boss says it's all about my boy Johnny Davis now in DC. That's funny, Matt. It really is. Johnny Davis, I really liked him at Wisconsin, and of course now he's in the National Basketball Association with the Wizards. Let me see what your guy Johnny Davis is doing here tonight. Matty D. Johnny Davis, he's got a bagel in 4 minutes, but I do like him. He's got a big body, can defend, hits threes, he's got a mid-range game. I like him. I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of giving away stuff, and we give away stuff like Oprah around here. And you need to know that at 9:00 Eastern time, right around the corner, we are going to have a giveaway, a signed Bryce Harper baseball. To win, you got to follow at Bettor Network. So give us a follow at Bettor Network, and that's with an O in Bettor. And then you retweet the tweet about the signed baseball by Bryce Harper. Listen to the show. It's that simple. Hit the call button right next to the fun button. You can go audio or video. Get involved with the show and have fun with your boy Cam. Who else is out here? Dave Poland says Raptors can switch those pick and roll. Trae Young pick and rolls and stop floater. Great call. Thank you, Dave Poland. I appreciate that. Who else is out here with some comments? Frankie Pugs writes, division rivals are always tough games. Plus, the Browns are at home. I think they run Chubb a lot to keep the Bengals offense off the field. I agree with your evaluation there, 1,000%. I do have the Browns tonight. It's not like, hey, I love the Browns here, plus 3 points and all that. I got a vibe. I believe they're going to win this game, and it's the spot for both teams. Cincy riding in high, Cleveland riding in here low. It's a week-to-week league. We know this. There's a big time like death game, like do or die factor going on here with Cleveland. I think the Browns are going to win this football game tonight. So we are turning it over here to some football. We'll pop on a little ESPN, and we'll be giving you updates live from the football field about what's going on here in Monday Night Football. But I tell you what, let's take another break right here. And around the corner, we've got Justin Henry. He is an expert on the NBA. He's an expert on the NFL, and we'll be talking with him about tonight's game. Also spinning around the NBA with him. It's a huge night of sports. No baseball with the rain out, but we got 8 NBA games. Monday Night Football is underway right now. Joe Burrow literally in the shotgun, ready to take a snap. So let's take a break. We'll come back with some thoughts here from your boy and then Justin Henry, and we'll continue having fun on Halloween right here on Bettor Sports Live.
Corey, Nando, and Friends, presented by Mayo Media on Bettor Sports Network.
I'm convinced that Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Babe Ruth is not real. No, it's not. Babe Ruth is not real. We've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. We've been led astray. We've been run amok.
Keep going.
Babe Ruth. I don't know the rest. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. I'm dead serious. Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Y'all are never going to get me to believe that Babe Ruth is real. Babe Ruth is like a baseball Santa Claus. I'm not buying it. After I saw those highlights last night of Babe Ruth, I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that Babe Ruth is a real person. Who do you know? There is nobody under the sound of my voice that has ever seen Babe Ruth play. I asked my pop, you ever seen Babe Ruth play? He's like, no. Nobody's ever seen Babe Ruth play.
Come on.
I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character. Even Babe Ruth baseball cards, it looked like it's drawn. Like, Babe Ruth is not real. Y'all trying to pull a fast one. Listen, I don't know who made this up. Maybe it was Phil Rizzuto. Maybe it's the Lenny Melnick. But Babe Ruth is not a real person. There's no way. Everything about Babe Ruth is sketchy. If you didn't go to the games, how do you know that it really happened? Or I listened on the radio. You listen to Ovaltine on the radio. That old school radio was all fiction. Everything on old school radio was fake. But you think Babe Ruth is real?
Look, he lived until 1948. So if you find someone who's like 85 years old, they might have remembered him when he was little, when they were a little teenager.
Babe Ruth was made up by baseball purists. I am certain.
You do that thing where you pause the Babe Ruth video and you zoom in and you zoom in and you zoom in. You see like some artist's autograph like right here.
Yeah, you like
some digital art right here. Yeah.
Somebody need to investigate this and see if Babe Ruth is a real person. I'm pretty sure Babe Ruth is a fictional character created to make people think that like there was this great jolly old baseball player that drank beers and ate hot dogs and hit 60 home runs. Like the home run record before Babe Ruth was like 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and
but
now
he figured it out. You know, like who figured out the dunk, right? Like he's just like, oh,
that's like Dr. J or something, right? Then Dr. J, probably was before Dr. J, but Dr. J made the dunk famous. Babe Ruth made the home run famous, or maybe that was a way to get people to like, we're gonna make baseball America's pastime. But in order to do so, we need somebody who we can make the face of the sport. And they didn't have no face of the sport. So they're like, okay, let's make him a fictional guy that played for the Red Sox and was traded to the Yankees for like tickets to tickets to cats. You know what I'm saying? Like the Red Sox get a Yankees.
You tried to say
is there any footage of Babe Ruth in the Red Sox uniform? None. I'm telling you, Babe Ruth is a fictional character.
Foreman is the running back. The snap to give us to Foreman. Running behind his left guard, and he sneaks in. Deontay Foreman tried the middle and then went right behind the left guard. And the Panthers have their first touchdown, and they retake the lead. Ricci is the fullback. Foreman the deep back. Goal line formation. They give us to Foreman. Charging ahead. Gets the push. Touchdown, Carolina. Walker in the shotgun. Takes the snap. They give it to Foreman. Why not? Once again. Plowing forward. No signal, and he got it. 2-point conversion, good. And we are tied at 21. Twins to the right. Walker the snap. Hands off Foreman. Up the middle. Breaks a tackle. 5-2. Touchdown. Deontay Foreman from 12 yards out.
That was the classic.
Tumbling, spinning, pretzeling into the end zone. And he's given the Panthers the lead. And that is 3 touchdowns now for Deontay Foreman.
All right, we are back on Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Rick Hamley here on Bettor Sports Live and Panthers Radio Network with the sound right there as the Falcons got an overtime victory over the Carolina Panthers. And what a game that was. Totally thrilling. Created a lot of excitement at the end of that game with the DJ Moore touchdown, which was probably the best play of his NFL career. And then on the back end of it, probably the dumbest thing he's done in his NFL career, taking the helmet off and getting the personal foul. By the way, first down throw here to Tyler Boyd, working the seam. Bengals moving the rock. Little zip spiral right there by my boy Joe Burrow, a.k.a. The Truth. And the Cincinnati Bengals are driving. They are inside the Browns 30 right now, lining up here 1st and 10 at the 28 as they move on here without Jamar Chase. And we stacked Higgins, Boyd, Hurst, and Mixon over on all of their receiving yards. And we have an early tip pick here, ladies and gentlemen. And down the sidelines he goes. This might be a pick 6 for Cleveland. Burrow is there being blocked, and from behind, it is Joe Mixon absolutely destroying. Who is that with that interception right there? But a long return. It's Green. And so now they completely flip the field, and the Browns are set up in great position. Whereas the Bengals were looking very promising right there, looking like they were going to go in, get a field goal at least. Little play action fake, and Myles Garrett off the right side of the defensive line got the right hand up, J.J. Watt style, and tipped it up. I mean, the pick goes to Burrow. It's minus points in your lineup and all that, but it's not, oh my God, that was a terrible read, terrible throw. No, it just got batted. Have we not talked about that this year? Have we not? We've talked about it a lot. It's very annoying, right? Stand there, throw, batted down. Stand there, throw, batted down. I mean, that was a play action play and like a quick throw to the left, so I'm not mad at Burrow, right? It's not like a third down where move the pocket, get out of the pocket, stop staying in the pocket and think you can just, like you're on a couch or in your easy chair. I can just sit here and throw. No, they're going to heat you up. You have to move. You have to extend plays. And that wasn't that play, but it was another ball batted down at the line of scrimmage, which we've seen all year long. I would like to know the analytics on that. I believe, watching all the football that I watch, that we have seen more balls batted down at the line of scrimmage so far this year than we ever have in the NFL through 8 games. Are you having the same experience? Correct me if I'm wrong. Say, Cam, you're wrong. In 2003, it was way worse than this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or, just let me, am I nuts? Or are you seeing this too? Like it's an epidemic. It's out of control. All of the balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let me know. So we're the Browns now are in scoring range here. So when they come back, we will check that out. But we promised some NFL trade deadline conversation. Okay, it's tomorrow, and obviously we'll be back on the air with you guys tomorrow at 7:00 Eastern time. We'll be talking all about this. Presumably, we'll have some trades, some more trades. We've already had several, right? And I love that the NFL trade deadline is becoming more like the NBA trade deadline, which is super, super beyond dope, as you all know. It is captivating. It is dramatic. It is transformative. It is voluminous. It is super entertaining in the NBA. And it's not to that degree in the NFL, but it's getting there. And I like the trend that we're on. Robert Quinn traded. And we may get some other guys traded here, but Robert Quinn was a recent trade. Christian McCaffrey, a recent trade. Some big name guys to some big name teams. Now, Roquan Smith has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens from the Chicago Bears in exchange for a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. A 2nd and a 5th for Roquan Smith. The Browns now have traded in back-to-back weeks Robert Quinn to the Eagles and Roquan Smith to the Ravens. Smith, who had the holdout, the stage in, the walk in, walk out, whatever the hell you want to call it, the contract dispute with the team, came back late, and he has not missed a beat. He hasn't gotten hurt. He hasn't suffered a soft tissue injury, and he's been absolutely amazing. He has 83 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 2.5 sacks. Did you know that Roquan Smith leads the NFL in tackles right now? Did you know that? The former 8th overall pick in the 2018 draft. 2-time All-Pro. That's not Pro Bowler where everybody makes it. That's All-Pro, meaning one of the 2 best at your position. That's the real indicator. That's like the All-NBA indicator with the NBA, right? You want to know who really had the great years? Go look at All-Pro. Go look at All-NBA. He's in the final year of his rookie contract, and the Bears, once again, are absolute asshats for doing this. I'll get to my complaints about them more here in just a little bit. The Ravens also, according to Roto World here, sent linebacker A.J. Klein to the Bears in exchange for Roquan. So the Ravens' run defense just became one to run from in fantasy football. The Ravens' run defense right now, without Roquan Smith, is 5th in the NFL against the run at 97.5 rushing yards allowed per game. They're already elite. They're already 5th. And now they add the best tackler in the National Football League in Roquan Smith. Hello. This is a great move. Jacoby Brissett, downfield, got a man. Is People Jones with a hurdle down the sideline, and he's got more. Oh, that was a nice play right there by Donovan Peoples-Jones. And now the Browns, I guess they ruled Green down by contact way behind the play there after the return. I think they ruled him down by contact because I'm looking here, and the Browns they got a lot of field in front of them right here. That was a marvelous, really was hurdle right there by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Incredibly athletic play over that Cincinnati DB. So now Cincinnati's driving there at the 35-yard line. Pardon me, Cleveland's driving at the 35-yard line of Cincinnati. But now you've got to really look, all right, my running back's got to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. I got to think twice about this because they were already really good. Now they have Roquan Smith, okay? Yeah, keep that in your brain. We talk about the Detroit Lions and some of the defenses to target, right? The Steelers right now are a defense to target. And the Ravens are not that. In terms of against the run right here, I'm going to spin historically that way. Stopping the run is literally a culture piece for the Baltimore Ravens. And so now they just get more of that, and they get even better, and they make a strength even stronger with the acquisition of Roquan Smith. Now for the Bears, they suck for this, and they're so cheap, they're so dumb. Like, you drafted Roquan Smith with the 8th overall pick, and all he has done is connect the dots to getting paid as that guy. He's an absolute rock star. Is an interior sideline to sideline linebacker, rock star, playmaker. And he's not just a tackle guy. He gets sacks, he gets play blow-ups, he gets forced fumbles, he gets fumble recoveries, like all of the splash plays too. He's all of that. And these dumbasses want to bail on him after drafting him in 2018. Like, what was your thought process drafting him then? Did you think, oh, well, we're going to groom him into a terrific linebacker, and so turn the 8th overall pick in the draft into a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick? You see what I'm saying? This is horrible GMing right here. Pay the man. He earned it. He deserves it. Pay him. This is obviously a sign that they don't want to pay Roquan. And that's why they had the contract dispute. And now Roquan's going to go to Baltimore, and they're going to pay him and keep him. It's so stupid. But what's so awesome is having Justin Henry back on the show. Justin, happy Halloween, man. What's up with you, bro?
My man, good to see you. Happy Halloween to you as well. And Roquan Swift, man. It's tough. It's the Bears. I don't know what the Bears are doing right now, but it's not winning football.
It's not. And, obviously the game, I was entertained by the Dallas game, all the touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. They just don't know how to run a team, Justin. They don't. And what they did, let me break this down for you and everybody. And I want to see if you agree with this or not. I'm a big Justin Fields guy. Okay. Huge opinion of him coming out of Ohio State. The draft should have gone Lawrence 1, Fields 2. I will take that to my grave. Nobody can tell me nothing about that. Okay. Big Justin Fields guy. And we're seeing it right now in pieces and glimpses. He's a tank with a huge arm. So the Bears did a good move, Justin, trading up for Justin Fields. I'm with it. Go get your quarterback, an aggressive move, trade up, draft picks, this and that. Okay. And so what do? They don't give him an offensive line. They give him Darnell Mooney as his number 1 receiver. Like, they're so dumb. First 2 picks in the draft. What do the Bears do? They take defense. So I'm just saying that this is a malpractice situation going on in Chicago, man.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. If you're going to invest in a quarterback in the first round, a young quarterback who is in Chicago, things don't fare well for quarterbacks in Chicago. Like, it's a tough environment to play. The conditions, the division, like, it's just a tough place for quarterbacks in general. And then you don't want to get him any weapons in the draft, in free agency, in trades. When we saw a lot of top-tier receivers get traded, right now there's options out there. Jerry Jeudy, Claypool, DJ Moore, Elijah Moore from the Jets. There's a lot of probably low-cost wide receivers. And what does this team do? Sits on their hands and rocks with Darnell Mooney, St. Brown, goes and trades for N'Keal Harry of all people, doesn't get Cole Kmet the ball. I don't get it. I'm not a Bears fan, and I listen. I don't have nothing positive to say right now about this Bears organization.
I like it. I like it a lot. So we're off to a good start here with Justin Henry. It's good. I'm just kidding, man. It's good to have you back. It really is. Now, I just watched up here. Cade York missed another kick. I got to check the stats on this guy because, we know he was drafted. Oh God, what was this stat? First drafted kicker since 2016, something like that. A 4th-round pick by the Cleveland Browns. You want to talk about GML practice? And now this guy, let's see, on the year, like decent, 13 of 16, which is 81%, 15 of 17 on PATs, which is 88%. Like, he's hanging in there. These percentages don't suck, but they're not great. And just missed a kick right there. But correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. It seems like Cade York is missing very loud kicks, right? It feels like his numbers are worse than I just read based on some like big kicks that he's been missing.
Well, he's young. When you invest a 4th-round pick in a kicker, it's like they better hit, they better be the most accurate of all time and make those clutch kicks that you want. And I think he's a young player. He's got a leg. We've seen the leg. We've seen him hit a 60-yarder and then come back and miss a 50-yarder right after that. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. I know we can't blame him for a GM taking him in the 4th round. That's not something you and I could do. So it's on the GM, not on him. He has to come in and make some kicks. But I'll give him a pass. Not too long of a leash. You can't keep missing these kind of kicks. Looks like it might have been blocked.
You are so right about if you are a rookie drafted kicker, you have to come in and kick ass right away. We saw what happened with Matt Gay and many other guys. Like, they just pull the plug on you and say, "Oh, we screwed up and we're out on this pick." And you're so right about, Justin, you're an NBA guy. I'm an NBA guy. Overdrafted guys in the NBA. It is not Joe Smith's fault that he was the number 1 overall pick and had a good NBA career. It's not Michael Olowokandi fault that he got overdrafted at number 1 and had a very average NBA career. It's not their fault. Anthony Bennett comes to mind. Anybody else you want to mention their number 1 overall picks that flamed out and were overdrafted?
Oh man, I can think of a number 2 pick of Marvin Bagley just recently in the same draft as Luka, and it's like you can't fault a Marvin Bagley even though he hasn't performed the levels. You can't fault him for being drafted number 2 overall. And when you look at what Luka's doing this year and potentially an MVP type season, it's tough to just say, you know what, you're a bust or you didn't do your job. Sometimes teams draft situationally, and it's not up to the player to say, hey, I'm the number 1 pick, I'm the number 2 pick. They feel the value for themselves too. So I always kind of hated that notion when people are like, oh, he's a bust or he didn't perform at a certain level. I mean, we saw Carmelo and Darko Milicic. If they would have swapped spots, you know what I mean? Like, Darko Milicic would have never been, well, he was never heard from again, but Carmelo might have been a whole different type of player had he gone to the Pistons.
He'd probably be a champion at this point. And I still think it's a heaping amount of BS. Like a bunch of like horse manure that is on like Beale Street, right? On a holiday. And you know how Beale Street is. Don't wear your Jordans on Beale Street on a crowded night. Justin, have you done that yet? Have you been to Beale Street on a crowded night, like a holiday type of thing, and have to avoid these landmines, aka these huge patties of poop?
I have not, but I've seen it. I've seen like the TikToks go around, and there's crazy people who do a lot of things with those huge manures of poop. When you're saying like avoiding things, it's kind of like for me tonight when I go out with my kids, I'm going to try to avoid those little candy corns that always end up at the bottom of the bag instead of the good stuff. I want the chocolate. I want the Snickers. That's the kind of the candy I want, not those candy corns. I can't stand them.
I'm a big Snicker guy too. I've been eating more of the Halloween candy than giving it out. That's kind of an annual tradition, I believe, for most of us sweet tooths. But we've got Justin Henry hanging out with Rick Kamler right here. Who did you have in the game tonight? Cincinnati and Cleveland. Who did you? I had the Browns. Slight lean towards them. Which way were you taking the points or giving the points?
Yeah, no, I was definitely taking the points on this one with the Browns. Home dog Monday night. I was like, you know what? To me, this is a good opportunity from the covering a division matchup. And it felt like a get-right game for the Browns. The Bengals have been riding high, missing a huge piece in Jamar Chase, obviously. It's unfortunate to see him go down. Hopefully he bounces back soon. But this team in the run game, it looks like they're looking for a win. It feels like this team doesn't feel like they're out of this division. And hence the reason why I don't think we've seen Kareem Hunt traded. I think Kareem Hunt would have been gone if this was a failed type of scenario for the Browns and they were calling it a season. I think there's optimism with this Browns team that they can get it done. So I was all over the Browns today. 3.5 points seemed like a good number for a team. And they, I thought they could make kicks like with Cade York, but sticking to the run game and just playing defense. I expected this defense to be a lot better than it has and more consistent than it has been as well. So Rick, it's interesting because you said you were on the Browns too. You kind of feeling the same way I was?
I was in it. And for me, Justin, it's not about the teams. It's about the spot for both teams. Who's the better team? Clearly Cincinnati. Nobody's going to dispute that. But Cincinnati's won 4 out of 5, riding in high. Cleveland's lost 4 in a row, riding in low. And we know that the end of just when you think you got it all figured out, oh man, all these past results are going to automatically lead to, this next thing. It doesn't always happen that way. So to me, it's ironic, it's contrarian, but how many times do once a week we see a bad team beat a good team? And we're all like, oh my God, how the hell did that happen? Where I never saw that coming. I feel like this is that type of game, although this isn't like Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson, right? If Cleveland beats Cincinnati tonight, it's not like that. I mean, it's an upset, but it's not like of epic proportions, but it's just the spot for both teams. Look, Justin, if Cincinnati were coming into this game off a loss, I'd be going with Cincinnati tonight. That's really the hinge here.
I'm right there with you. That's exactly the way I was feeling about this. It's just, it feels like a must win. Like Cleveland has to win something, and they're in the dog pound on Monday night with the home crowd. It just felt like the right type of spot, like you mentioned, for this team. And sometimes that matters when there's a team that's a little bit more hungry in a spot where they got a little bit more momentum behind them. That has an impact. You know, we saw another team, not in the NFL, but in the NBA, get their first one. I'm not sure if you're wearing a matching jersey, but this team got their first win yesterday. And I had to be a little bit excited about it. Not as excited as they were in the locker room, but my Lakers getting their first win of the year. Was definitely excited about that.
So Justin Henry hanging out with your boy Cam here on Halloween. So I'm going to pick up my computer here off my platform.
Yes. I love it.
Lakers 32. It's a very, very, very old school Magic Johnson jersey. And Justin, I was telling the people it's so old school that I have to wear a T-shirt underneath it because it's not like the new material that's like good. It's literally from the 80s. So underneath it's all prickly, and it's got the Laker logo and the numbers are sewn on, Fletch style, right? Remember the old ass jersey you wore in Fletch? So I'm Fletch tonight. That's why I'm wearing this. I'm not all like geeked. Look, Darvin Ham's my homie, okay? Like I love Darvin. I go back with Harmon. Darvin, that's my guy. In the offseason, I could like hit him up with a text, that's my boy, man. Super happy for Darvin Ham. But this is not late. This is just a Halloween bit. I'm just.
Oh, so you were just pretending to be a Laker fan because there's not a whole lot of this. Early, I was talking about it earlier.
Pretending to be Fletch.
Oh, hey, I can't be mad at that either. I can't be mad at it. Hey, at least you got the right player on Magic. You know what I mean? Magic, man. You got to love Magic. To me, it's just seeing Darvin Ham get the win. I'm glad for him, man. I'm glad for this team. And, I wish we could dress up as more Laker wins. I wish we could dress up as better talent. I wish we could dress up as better shooting for this team. Because even though Russ played well at the bench, it's still going to be ugly.
So since and we're just going to kind of bandy about here, we'll get to some basketball thoughts here in a little bit, and certainly some more football. But the Lakers got. It's not one of those things you want to overreact, right, to a win like this. But it's not overreacting to one win in the vacuum of that one win. What's really profound about last night's game and going back to Friday's game against Minnesota is the role acceptance of Russell Westbrook on the bench role. This is NBA history, people. This is NBA history. Okay, he's like, wow, he's just coming off the bench. I go, first of all, it's the first time he's coming off the bench since his rookie year 15 years ago. But Allen Iverson chose, Justin, and you know this, he chose being a superstar over continuing his career. I'm going to do it my way or I'm not going to do it. The great Isaiah Thomas, Hall of Famer, told me in our days together at NBA TV. I said, Isaiah, why didn't you play longer? He played till like 33 or 34. He said that the injuries got him to a point where he couldn't be the man anymore. And he didn't want to play if he couldn't be the man. He didn't want to play and just be a guy. He could have played many, many more years instead of 20 and 10, 16 and 6, 16 and 8. I don't know. Like he would have been Isaiah Thomas, but it'll lower degree. Didn't want to do that. And so I didn't want to see Russell Westbrook say, if I can't have basketball on my terms, I don't want to play basketball and I'm taking my ball and going home. That's why this has been such a pivotal crossroads for Russ. And so far, so good.
I love it. And, he's actually getting more of what he wants coming off the bench because Russ's game is predicated on being able to be the all for the offense, right? He has to be the playmaker. He has to be the rebounder, has to be the scorer. That's Russ's game. He wants to be super involved, ball dominant. And on this Lakers team, they didn't need him to do that last season and at the start of this season. The ball moved through LeBron and moved through AD. And Russ was a secondary, sometimes third piece on the offense. And Russ in the second unit, you could tell he's free. It feels like he can take full control of that role and average 18 and 8 and 8, and nobody would bat an eye just for the simple fact he's playing in the second unit. And I think Russ is having fun. I think he realizes it. And it almost was like a promotion by demotion for Russell Westbrook. It feels like he wasn't having fun on the court being the third option. And now there's just a little bit of extra life for Russ. So free Russ might have just been made 6th man of the year.
You can win 6th man of the year without being on a winning team. And I do not see the Lakers as being a winning team. Russ is, I know it's soul crushing, but that's just how I look at it. Unless they make a move, Justin, and then they get healed, they get Turner, then like all bets are off. We can have a different conversation about that. But I don't see the playoffs in this team's future as good. They're the worst shooting team in the NBA. It's not even close. The eye test says that. The stat test says that. They're the worst shooting team in the league. How can the worst shooting team in the league do anything of note and significance? So, Justin, let's apply a betting angle to this Lakers conversation here.
Okay.
On Bettor Sports Live here on Halloween. The Lakers. Let's talk about odds to make the playoffs or not. Okay. The Lakers to make the playoffs. Yes is a plus 150. No is a minus 185. Which, like, take the hat off for a minute.
Yeah.
Like you're an analyst, not a Laker fan. And I know it's going to be tough, but and I'll give you my answer here in a minute. But are you Lakers yes at a plus 150 to make the playoffs, or Lakers no at a minus 185 to make the playoffs?
Now, the analyst in me wants to just jump and say no, right? But the analyst in me also takes time to recalibrate and think about the potential season-long things that can happen. Now, I think if things get a little too bleak for this Laker team, they don't own their first-round pick. So it's not like they will go into automatic tank mode or want to lose. You also have really high caliber talent on this team. Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, legacy type plays for LeBron James right now, even at this stage in his career. I don't think as constructed this team makes the playoffs, but I do think this Laker team goes and makes a move for some shooting in some form or capacity. And if that happens, and it happens to be elite enough talent to help this team, or if Russ gets dialed in and they're a step away, I could see them making the playoffs. Much more than that, no. But making the playoffs, especially when you're getting the number plus 150, I would take them making the playoffs over just completely missing them at this point. Okay,
so the best point that you made there, among a lot of great stuff, Justin, is like it's different. Like I talk with Antonio Daniels on Give and Go on NBA radio every day, right? We have a great time, all these debates, and just a really, really fun show. So it's different, right? That show to this one in terms of the betting space that we're in right now. So my angle over there is the Lakers are done. They're out of it. They're going nowhere unless they make a trade. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's very cut and dry. As is, you suck, you're going nowhere. Make a trade. We can talk about now how open your ceiling is. Here, you have to build all that in on a future. And so that's the point that I love, because so now we've crystallized it, Justin, to is Rob Pelinka going to send the picks in 2027 and 2029 to Indiana for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, with Russell Westbrook going to Indiana? Because if they do that trade, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but do we think they'll make that trade? The problem is the Lakers, through reporting, they don't want to take on years or any money beyond this year. And they would be doing so with Buddy Hield. They would not be doing so with Miles Turner. I have said, Justin, I would be looking at my free agency now if I were the Lakers. I would make this trade. I would extend Turner and I would extend Buddy Hield and keep them in my program and give me a core four with them and LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's how I'd rock. And so I ask you then, okay, if you are betting the Lakers to make the playoffs here at a plus 150, then you have to feel like Rob Pelinka is going to make a trade as opposed to sitting on those picks all year. So do you feel like he's actually going to blow the dice and throw them down the table and do it?
Lady luck. Sometimes you need it. And the feeling I have right now is that it's not working with Russ as a starter. Let's try it out as on the bench. Let's try Russ on the bench and see if we can jumpstart this thing. They're a couple games away from, hey, this isn't working with Russ on the bench either. We have to make a move right now. And you're right. Getting a Miles Turner where you can extend him, and it sounds like there's a soundbite out there with Miles Turner earlier saying they should go get him. It seems like that might be a place he wants to play that's not a mid-market team. And then Buddy Hield already has, a contract. So now you pair that up with LeBron and AD, who are already under contract for the next 2-3 years, I think for LeBron, 2 years. you have a core, you have a chance, and you have something to build off of. And if AD's back is really as bad as it seems, because he's grabbing at that back every single time down the floor, it seems like right now. If his back is as bad as it seems, you have a little bit of depth behind him with Miles Turner. I think you have to make this move. If something happens with Russ here in the next few games, and it's like, you know what, this is going nowhere, it's time to pull the trigger.
I agree with you right there. And for us, it's Rick Kamla and Justin Henry, NBA and an NFL expert, hanging out with your boy Cam here on Halloween. For us, I faded him in fantasy drafts because I didn't trust that he would accept this role. And I'll take 18, 8, and 8. And I understand that the shooting is weird and all that. But I'll take that, especially as late as Westbrook was going. And so he's really stabilized, I think, his fantasy value with this, and it's going to be a really good source for people moving forward. So Justin, let's talk about the night in the NBA here. I had the over on Tyrese Maxey here at where is he? He's at 18. All right, cool. We had him at 22.5. He's at 18, and we're through 3 quarters. And wow, Philadelphia with a massive punch. They were, I believe, tied at halftime. I think it was 52-52. Huge third quarter for Philly, 34-21. They now lead by 13. And and Tyrese Maxey getting busy here, over 18 points. I figured without Joel Embiid, hello Maxey, right? And so far so good. We're about to hit that over. But Philly comes in here at 3-4. Take me through your view on this team. I had them winning the East in the regular season before the season. Obviously, a pretty lousy start to the year here. Where are you at with the 76ers?
I think this all determines on the health of Joel Embiid. It seems like he was really dealing with something this offseason. And, you know, one thing that is a positive, you taking Tyrese Maxey with 18 points, his development has been a sight to see this early part of the season. I got him, I was talking about fantasy basketball in my draft. I ended up getting him in the draft, and it's been a pleasant surprise, even though I had to take him a little bit earlier than expected. His development is the key catalyst for this team right now. I think they have the veteran presence. When you talk about a guy like PJ Tucker, I think we talked about that last time. He brings a lot of added veteran presence. So if this team can get to the playoffs as a top 5 seed, somehow, some way with this slow start, I think they'll be fine. It is tough. I didn't expect them to struggle this much out the gate. But I'm not panicking on this 76ers team. I think they figured things out. And a lot of it, like I said, has to do with how healthy Embiid can get here early on.
Justin Henry hanging out with your boy Cam on Halloween. Justin, tell the people where they can watch you, where they can listen to you, where they can read your stuff, man.
Yes, sir, Rick. I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been fun. My name is Justin Henry. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Justin Henry with a 3 instead of an E. I also do a daily show called The Justin Henry Show at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern, every day, streaming live on YouTube, answering fantasy, football, NBA, questions, you name it. I'll talk about Halloween, whatever. It's all good. So that's where you can find me.
I love it, man. I love it. And I lastly want to bring you into a debate that Antonio Daniels and I got into today on Give and Go on Sirius XM NBA Radio. The Golden State Warriors are 3-4 right now. They're 0-3 on the road to start the year. They just lost on Saturday at Charlotte and Sunday at Detroit. And we asked the question, are the Warriors flawed or bored? What's your answer to that, Justin?
Flawed or bored? And I think it might be a little bit of both, right? When you talk about the bored part, you won the Super Bowl, you chased it, you wanted it back. I get it. There's not a lot of excitement early on in the season. It's just make the playoffs, and then your championship caliber. It's just about executing in the playoffs. So the slow start, I think you can attribute that to a little bit of boredom. But then the flawed piece comes in. And when you talk about Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, sometimes things don't just brush over as easy chemistry-wise as we like to admit. Everybody on that team sees Jordan Poole creating his own shots, becoming a player. We know that there's the decline of some of the older players. Some of the younger players got the bag. There's other players, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, waiting in the wings, kind of taking their role. So I think there's a little bit more of chemistry unbalance right now, and who's the dog and who's ready to take over and who's past their prime and who's not. So that might be a little bit more of it. I think there's a little bit of flaw with just chemistry issues, but then also some boredom along the way. They'll figure it out.
I love the answer. I do, because when you bring up, Green and Poole, you see ring night, you see some wins early in the season, you see them passing the ball, you see them helping each other up off the floor and all that kind of stuff. Is that lingering right now at all? It's just an interesting thought and reminder that let's not forget, like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, Green blasted Poole in the face. It's a really good reminder. It is. I'm seeing a team that is they're not playing urgent basketball. They're just not playing hard. They're just not. Like, and can we expect the Dubs with their top 3 guys being in their 30s, coming off the championship, to like hit the ground running in playoff mode? Of course not. So right. I feel like they're more bored than flawed. I do acknowledge that there's a little bit of both going on because their bench has not been as good as I thought. Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody have not sort of all popped, like just that little pop, right? That I thought was going to happen. It's not happening so far, and it needs to. If the Warriors are going to win this championship, they have to have those guys kicking ass off the bench in their limited roles. But Justin, you are the man. Really appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of Monday Night Football, and go eat some Halloween candy, man.
Will do. About to take my 3 boys out for trick-or-treat right now. Rick, appreciate you.
Nice. I appreciate that. Have fun with your fam, Justin.
Yes, sir. You too. All
right. Be well, brother. That is Justin Henry right there. And going out with his family here on Halloween. That is really, really cool. So I love that. I'm glad to have you guys along here with your boy Cam. And right around the corner, we've got Kate Constable. She will come on here and talk NBA with your boy Cam. And we have, as we've been talking about throughout the night here, a huge giveaway at the top of the hour. We are giving away a signed Bryce Harper baseball, okay? Just like one of these right here. I've been showing you these signed baseballs that I got, right? Ernie Banks is somewhere in here. Ernie Banks is right there. See Ernie Banks in the blue right there? I got some signed baseballs as well. I got Reggie Jackson down here. I got a Ron Darling signature down here. I love it. But these aren't for sale. And these aren't giveaways right here. These are just mementos that your boy Cam has accumulated. We are giving you tonight a signed Bryce Harper baseball just for being you. And you got to comply with the plan here, okay? You got to follow us on Twitter at Bettor Network, BETOR Network on Twitter. You got to retweet the tweet about the signed baseball here from Bryce, and you got to listen to the show and listen to the network. Pretty easy deal, right? And if you do all that stuff, you could win a Bryce Harper signed baseball coming up at 9:00 Eastern time. I'm Rick Hamill, so that's right around the corner. And we got a lot more coming up. Kate Constable as well, talking NBA. We'll have our eye on Monday Night Football on Halloween on Bettor Sports Network.
Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Bettor Sports Network.
By the way, if you are a commissioner out there, if someone does not pay, that's on you at the end of the day. It sucks. That's why you have to get the money early, because if they don't pay, it's on you. You don't change the prize. A winner shouldn't be impacted because unfortunately you messed up as commissioner. And I've been caught with this before. I've made this mistake. It sucks, and I had to go out of pocket for it. You learn that maybe some of your friends should not be in that league. But Roan, we see it all the time with commissioner issues, and I can't stress it enough that when it comes down to league payment, it's on the commissioner if they don't have everybody's entry fee and someone decides to ghost them.
Yeah, I had to collect 36 entry fees this year. All of them were collected except one. And it was one of my friends who said he was going to pay the second. I forgot to remind him. He might even be listening, but I know he's going to pay. If not, I know where he lives. But nah, he'll pay. But yeah, I mean,
big brother Adam Rodas over here.
And even the guy that I've talked about before that usually always pays me at the end, he actually paid on time this time. He usually is like, I'll pay you on Friday, and then it doesn't come, and then it's 4 months later. And he always winds up paying. That's why I don't really get upset. But you've seen my emails. I don't play around. Like, This is the date. This is the date. You get it in by then. And I always, too, I'm like, the draft order will be determined when everyone pays. Right. So don't hit me up about the draft order. Once everyone pays, then the draft order will be done. And anyone who's been in this league, now Festi can't attest to this because he's never won money in my league, but the people who do win, they get it right away. Usually the next day or two. Just make sure the scoring, especially with football, no scoring changes, as long as it's not like a point victory, half a point, and then they'll get the money right away.
What about 2 points?
Yeah, I mean, wait it out just in case something crazy happens. I guess I don't wait till Thursday when the official story happens.
Yeah, man. I mean, a championship that I was in years ago got reversed, and I ended up winning on a Thursday stat correction.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. You hope you hope it doesn't come down to that. If you're on the better end of that, it's great. But man, imagine thinking you won, you got the money, and then it changes. That's tough.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
All right, we're back on Bettor Sports Live here on Halloween. And folks, we're in a giving mood around here. All right. It's your boy Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live because they're giving us nothing in this Monday Night Football stinker of a puke bucket. It is 0-0 right now. And it is 9 o'clock Eastern time. And as promised, we have a winner of a signed Bryce Harper baseball. His name is Andrew Elmquist. He's at Andrew Elmquist 1 on Twitter. Andrew, congratulations. You have won a signed Bryce Harper baseball. So we don't get points in Monday Night Football. We don't get a baseball game because of the weather. But we do get a signed Bryce Harper baseball for Andrew Elmquist. Andrew, we really appreciate you being along for the ride here on Bettor Sports Network very early on in our existence. Tell all your friends about us. Tell them to download the Bettor Network app. And stay involved and stay with the shows and enjoy that baseball signed by Bryce Harper for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we bring now Kate Constable. Really enjoyed our chat a little while back. She brought up old stuff going back to the Turner Sports days with your boy Cam right here. Kate, happy Halloween. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy Halloween. How are you doing?
Well, I couldn't be better. I'm Fletch tonight. So I'm rocking the old Lakers jersey here.
I love it.
Magic John. You can see the sewn on lettering and numbers. It's all like there's no kid alive that would wear this jersey, right? Like it's not cool enough for the kids. But
that's the true old school stuff. That's what we love.
True old school. Very old school. So we're Fletch tonight. And we've been just talking about all these sports, man, a little basketball and a little football. So let's talk basketball. And let me bring you in on a debate that I was just having with Justin Henry. We had him on. I debated this with Antonio Daniels today on Give and Go on NBA radio. The Golden State Warriors, are they flawed or are they bored?
I think they're bored right now. You're not flawed with that roster and that talent, but they're coming off of a championship run. They just won it all. It's almost like it's too easy for them. So they're just coasting until things get a little bit more rocky. And then they'll pick back up again. And we'll see the Warriors team that we saw late in the season last year, right?
That should be the plan. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, my concern about the Warriors, and I hear a lot about Klay Thompson, and he's not the same guy. Like, we get that, right? Draymond Green, not the same guy. We get that. Well, how far off are they from where they were last year when they helped the Golden State Warriors win 16 games and win the gold ball? I think they're only going to be better. Draymond was dealing with the back injury last year. Klay was in his first year return. The concern that I have, Kate, is Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, and Moses Moody. And I love them. And they got extended, by the way. Their options got picked up by the Warriors today. And we got a long way to go, Kate. But those are the guys that are going to have to step up and be quality others for the Warriors in the playoffs. And we haven't seen that yet. So that's my issue if I have an issue with the Warriors. And they are my pick to win the championship this year.
Yeah, it almost goes back to the way the Warriors are playing right now and kind of coasting or bored right now, because when those younger guys see Steph and Klay and Draymond, not playing defense as hard as they typically do, or not playing every single possession the way we've seen them do late into the season and stuff like that, that feeds off to the younger guys. And all of a sudden they look at that and they think, okay, well, maybe I'll take this possession off or whatnot. And so I think that's what we've seen a little bit from some of those younger players of why they haven't stepped up their game. But this is their time to do it and their time to shine, with some of the more veteran players kind of coasting for now. It also makes me a little concerned. I just read this report today. I don't know all the validity of it, but I've seen it in a couple outlets that Jonathan Kuminga could be a player that's concerned about his playing time, which in that case, like, take the minutes you're given right now, buddy, and show this team what you can do. We know you can do quite a bit. You're a talented player, but that's something that concerns me down the road if playing time is going to be an issue for him.
I don't understand how, and I'm a big Jonathan Kuminga guy, but I don't understand how that could even be in your thought process if in fact it is. They have a definitive, clear-cut starting five. Arguably the best starting five in basketball. Looney, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. There might be 2 or 3 better starting fives, but probably not. And so you're not starting. You're coming off the bench. Like, how could you get that twisted at all? And again, it's a report. Sometimes reporting comes and it's factual. Sometimes it's not. But I wouldn't understand that. I would not understand that. Kate Constable here with your boy Cam, breaking down the NBA. You know what's weird, Kate? The San Antonio Spurs and the Utah Jazz are 5-2. That is weird. And
that's very weird.
I would like to know of those two teams, which team has the most staying power? Maybe not to stay at that level, but the most staying power to maybe be a play-in tournament team, Utah or San Antonio?
That's tricky because I've got to believe Utah is going to be trading some of their players soon, right? If they're want to be in full tank mode, they're probably going to get rid of Conley or Clarkson or someone like that. So that would lead me to believe that maybe the Spurs would be the team that, down the road, maybe a play-in team. Also with Greg Popovich as your coach, that would make me lean towards the Spurs again a little bit more versus a rookie head coach in Will Hardy, who's done a fantastic job so far. I mean, I don't think anyone thought that they would be off to that start. But when you're talking about getting later into the season, guys are tired, you're kind of in the dog days of the year. That's when I would lean on your veteran coach to kind of propel your players a little bit more. So I like the way the Jazz are playing right now. I think they're playing better between the two teams. But late in the year, I would probably lean towards the Spurs.
The Spurs are they are who they are, right? They've got a bunch of young guys. They're going to continue to play these young guys, and you know how it's going to go late in the year. The losses are going to mount for this squad. Utah is a little bit different, right? You went to get Kelly Olynyk, who's played very well for them. You got Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton in the Donovan Mitchell trade, both playing very well for you. Mike Conley still playing well. Jordan Clarkson's still playing well. Like, they've actually, Malik Beasley playing well. Yeah. They've actually, low key got an average squad. You're like, average squad. Like, what I mean by that is, we thought, okay, Mitchell gone, Gobert gone, all these guys gone. They're going to absolutely suck and go 20-62. That's not the team I'm watching right now. Like, they're actually fun to watch, Kate. And their crowd is going crazy. Great environment out there in Salt Lake City. Like, their crowd is like, man, missed the playoffs. No, we're going to the playoffs, right? So really fun stories out there with those two teams. Let me ask you about the Los Angeles Clippers. Kate Constable, I'm with Rick Camley here on Halloween, breaking down the NBA. How worried are you about the Los Angeles Clippers right now? Are you worried at all?
I'm annoyed by the Los Angeles Clippers right now. That's where I'm at. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's happening with this Kawhi Leonard thing. He's going to be out for the next 3 games for injury management. I mean, he's had an entire season and off season. So I'm just more annoyed. I think they're going to figure it out. Ty Lue's a great coach. You've got a ton of depth on that roster. So similar to the Warriors, it almost feels like they're just kind of waiting to turn it on. But at what point do you do that? I hate seeing Kawhi not in the lineup, coming off the bench, things like that. Like, I'm just kind of annoyed with them.
I like that. I'm annoyed too. Like, at the beginning, I am at the beginning of the season. Kawhi Leonard's going to come off the bench in his first game back, and I melted down about it. Like, you've had 878 days off, and you can't keep yourself ready to play 28 or 30 minutes per game on the opening night of the season after missing an entire year. That does not compute for me. It doesn't compute. And so what it tells me, Kate, is that something happened. I hope I'm wrong, but I think something happened with Kawhi Leonard. How do we go from looking great, all the great positive preseason reports, to, all right, he's not coming off the bench. He's on a severe minutes restriction, and now he can't even play.
Right.
Is it just knee maintenance? No, I hope I'm wrong, but this smells like an unreported setback to me. So Kate Constable hanging out with Cam here. In terms of some of the events of tonight, the Brooklyn Nets are in front right now. They, of course, are 1-5 coming in. They're leading the Indiana Pacers predictably by 19 here. Philadelphia is coming on a little bit here. They're leading 103-92. If they win tonight, Kate, they're going to be at 500. Take me back to the preseason. How high were you on Philadelphia? Did you have them like winning the East, going to the NBA Finals, or like what was your preseason outlook on them? And then compare that to where you're now with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, I was very high on the Sixers coming in. I was talking all about their team total over for the year, or their win total over. I thought they were going to be kind of the juggernaut coming out of the East this year, competing with the Bucks for that spot in the finals, and sorely let down early on with the way these guys started, especially because there was so much chatter about how, Harden, this is his first full offseason with Joel Embiid, and time for those two to gel, and it just didn't all click. They just looked off from the beginning. Tyrese Maxey looked kind of out of rhythm, or not quite sure how to play with Harden and Embiid, even though they had those 30 games last year. Their defensive effort was really poor. So it's nice to see them tonight actually put forth a good effort, be knocking down shots, and especially to do it all with Joel Embiid. And sometimes, it takes your star being out for some of those other players to pick up the slack a little, but they're slowly piecing things together and slowly becoming a team that I'm more confident to bet on. I decided not to bet on them tonight. I actually took the over in this game instead. But the Sixers, I'm going to start to look to bet on them a little bit more now that we've seen some more consistency from them.
I like it. I like where your head is at with that. I want you all to give Kate a follow on Twitter at Kate Constable. That's CON Stable, just like you think. She's a sports betting host and analyst at the 33rd Team FB, and a host of the All Bets Are On podcast at the Believe Network. Tell us a little bit about that. What time does it air? How long have you been doing that? Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's fun. The 33rd Team stuff, that's all NFL related, actually. So I host a Monday show at noon that streams live on Twitter. You guys can catch that there. And we're hopefully adding a Thursday show as well. And then the Believe podcast stuff, that's sporadically throughout the week. Usually Tuesday, Thursday, I'll have an episode tomorrow morning. I just kind of go through my best bets in the NBA for the day. So yeah, you can look out for that stuff throughout the week.
That is awesome. So let's talk NFL a little bit here. Actually, I have one more NBA NBA question for you here, Kate, and then I want to talk a little NFL with you.
Sure.
So in terms of the NBA MVP, I'm going to mention a player's name with the odds here. Okay. I'll give you. I'm going to give you three odds to choose from. Tell me which of these bets you're playing as we get a wildcat snap to Nick Chubb here, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Luka Doncic at a plus 400 for MVP. Luka at plus 400. Giannis at plus 600. And Ja Morant at plus 750. Are you going Luka at plus 400, Giannis at plus 600, or Ja at plus 750?
Well, I'm not going Ja. I'm going either Giannis or Luka. And I'd probably choose Giannis because I think they're going to have the better record at the end of the season. And I know that people take that into account when you're talking about the MVP and leading your team. But you can't really take much away from what Luka's done this year. Probably the best start to a season he's ever had. So if he's able to maintain that, sure. I just trust Giannis to maintain his level of play a little bit more so than I do Luka at this point.
It's a good take. I'm on the Luka side of that, but Luka's never been this good at the start of a season. So
Right.
Will he be able to maintain it throughout the course of the season? I'm betting on him to do that, but he hasn't done it yet. And for Giannis, obviously, he's already the two-time MVP. I feel like, Kate, that it's crystallized already to those two guys. And you've got a bunch of guys kind of nipping at them, Dame Lillard, Ja Morant, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, guys like that come to mind. But dang, it is. And I thought this all summer coming into the season. This is the year of Luka. I see a 30-point triple-double from him for the year. And Giannis is just going to have a magnificent Giannis year. And so they're both going to be right there. Now, I see a Bears helmet. Go ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because people expect that out of Giannis year in and year out, is this type of performance. And people expect that from Luka to a sense that we just haven't seen it year in and year out. So I think this definitely could be his year because of the numbers he's putting up and the way he started the year.
It's a great point. Cade York is so bad that Cleveland is going for a 2-point conversion right here, and they get it with Nick Chubb. It is 8-0. Now, why do you cringe right there? Well, when I say that, are you invested in Cade York? Do you have him in a dynasty league? Why?
No, not at all. I just think back to the first game of the season. Didn't he win the game on a walk-off kick, and he was the hero there? And all of a sudden now that his team doesn't even rely on him to kick a field goal. That's not good.
It's a great observation. It was a 60-yarder in week 1 against Carolina in the Baker Mayfield game. Remember, Baker led him back, and it was going to be this storybook thing. Oh, my God, Baker, and oh, my God. And Cade York said, nah, party over, we win from 60. And hasn't had a horrible season, but missed a kick earlier tonight. That was interesting to me early in the game, going for 2 on that one. All right, so you have a Bears helmet behind you. So, Kate, I assume you're a Bears fan.
I am a Bears fan, yes. I liked the way we looked on Sunday. We didn't win, lost by 20. Usually you don't like how your team looks when you lose by 20, but I liked our offense a little bit better. We're finally throwing the ball. Justin Fields is moving around nicely. So I take Sunday as a positive for our offense going forward.
For the offense, now the defense got shredded. I believe it was 7 touchdowns. I lost track, frankly. It was so
Dak
high.
had the first 4 drives of the game. He leads them down the field. Yeah, defense was trash.
And their first 2 picks were on the defensive side of the ball. Should have been on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep.
It is what it is. But Kate, I'm a big Justin Fields supporter, advocate, apologist. Dan Orlovsky, can go jump off a bridge. Remember him stirring up trouble with Justin in the pre-draft process? Like, what are you trying to steal money from this kid? Like, Are you jealous? Because he's a tank and an absolute badass, a gift by God, and you were just a backup quarterback. That whole thing pissed me off to no end. But Kate, what I'm seeing from Justin is all the stuff I wanted to see from Justin this year. I did not need to see an MVP pop. I did not need to see, QB1 pop. I didn't. I needed to see you be better than you were last year. And to me, it's the touch on the pass. And is he a finished product? No, he's not. But he's getting there. And then, and so let me drop an observation on you here about Justin. Do you feel like that he had an epiphany, maybe week 3, maybe like early in the season? Do you think he had an epiphany that, I am this good. I am this guy. Because last year he just didn't play with confidence. And early this year, the Houston game, right? How do you not drill Houston at home? Like I was like, what are we doing here? It's the same old crap. And so I feel like a switch has gone off, a light bulb's gone off. I feel like there's like an intangible confidence and belief that he has. Are you seeing this when you watch Justin play too?
Yeah, I think just as the years progressed, he's gotten more confident each game, and they haven't been successful in terms of the win column, but he's done little things in each game that I think has helped him build that. And you go back to last year, you have Matt Nagy as a coach. You got Andy Dalton? Was he the backup last year?
Correct. With your boy Nagy.
Like, you're in and out of the lineup. It's hard to be confident in as a first-year quarterback when you don't know if you're going to play, if you throw a couple interceptions or you're getting taken out or stuff. So now I feel like he's almost just within the last couple of weeks started to play free. Like, okay, we're not going to win a ton of games this year. That's okay. We're seeing the way this front office is kind of trying to move us in a new direction going forward. So let's focus on the years ahead and just play football now and go out there and do what I know how to do. That's kind of what I've seen from him these last few weeks.
Me too. I love all those observations right there. I do. Let me ask you a question here, Kate, about 3 teams, usual suspects, if you were, that completely suck. I think I mentioned puke bucket at the beginning of our interview here. All 3 of these teams are in a puke bucket right now. And what I want to ask you, so I'm talking about the Rams and the Buccaneers and the Packers, right? These teams suck. These teams were all like going to win 13, 12, 11 games this year, right? They all suck. So I looked at their odds to miss the playoffs, okay? This is to miss the playoffs. So which of these are you playing here, Kate, if you can only have one? The Rams are a minus 190 to miss the playoffs. The Packers are a minus 185 to miss the playoffs. The Buccaneers are a plus 135 to miss the playoffs. Which of those wagers would you be going with?
I'm playing the Bucks. Got to go with the value. This is the first season in his entire career that Tom Brady doesn't look like football is his number one priority. And that's not a recipe for success or making it to the playoffs when he's just not locked in the same way he has. And that's why he's been so successful his entire career, because he lives, eats, and breathes football, and he just doesn't have that same look in his eye. So they have some talent around him. It hasn't been working as of late. I don't know what's going on there, but something is definitely off in Tampa Bay. And if you're giving me plus money, some value there, I would take the Bucks.
All right, so she's going with the Bucks. I understand everything you're saying, and it's certainly not a disagreement. For me, because they're in such a lousy division, and here's a strip sack by Burrow. It's recovered by, I believe, Mixon, but then it looked like it squirted out again, and Cleveland has the ball. What's the signal here? It's Cleveland football. It is Cleveland football, yo. Wow. They're on the Cincinnati side of the field, too. Wow, Cincinnati's melting down right here. Where was I? I would take the I actually would take the Rams. Like, they, to me, are they're not even competitive anymore. No. Like, they're literally getting punched in the face every game and just saying, all right, we got our chip. Yep. You can't tell us nothing, right? I can still taste the champagne. How about you? Like, that's the vibe I got. It's like a country club. Like, they don't care. Let's go play golf. Let's go to the pool. Big
hangover year for them, yeah.
It's a huge hangover year. And their offensive line sucks. And their running back room sucks. I mean, we get all of this stuff, right? But to me, I would leave the door ajar for the Bucks. And I agree with everything you said about the Bucks. They're an absolute disaster right now. But their division is being headed by Atlanta right now at 4-4.
That's a very good point.
So that's why I would say that, but not feeling really any of those teams. So lastly here, Kate, we'll let you go. Going back to the helmet that you have of your Bears. Y'all traded Roquan Smith today, and I already sunk my teeth into your front office. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, I like the move.
Oh, really?
Get rid of him. Yeah. They probably weren't going to sign him, bring him back after the end of this season. So essentially, you paid him for these first 8 games. You let him go. You get a couple draft picks for him. You get another replacement player, and you move forward and you focus on building the team through the draft over these next few years. Yes, he's our best defensive player, probably arguably one of the best players on the team, but we're not winning a championship with just Roquan Smith. So based on the numbers, what we are getting back from him, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it.
Here's my problem with it, Kate. I understand what you're saying. Here's my problem with it. You draft this guy 8th overall. An 8th overall pick should be a staple of your franchise for the next decade. That's what I thought is the plan. Yeah. Time immemorial, the 8th overall pick. By the way, not like a bust, but a really good player. Like, you drafted him 8. He's been that good in the NFL. He is exactly who you thought you were drafting. An absolute sideline to sideline Ray Lewis buzzsaw. You got that. So why now, 4 years later, are you pivoting off of that and worried about a 2nd and 5th round? They turned the 8th overall pick in the draft into a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Put it like that. That's not the best way. Yeah.
I just don't get it, man. And you don't want to pay him. Why did you draft him? You draft a guy hoping he pops and excels and develops on your watch, and then you pay the man. And then he finishes his career and he goes into the Ring of Honor one day. That's how this is done. Yeah. Like, why don't the Bears understand that? I just don't get it. But it's advantage Baltimore, clearly. Go ahead.
I wonder how much of that is the new front office and the new management that they brought in, because maybe those guys said, I didn't draft this player. I don't want him. I don't want to pay him what he's going to ask for at the end of this season, because he's going to ask for quite a bit.
No doubt.
So I wonder how much it is of a change in management that makes that decision. I will never probably know that, but that's something I'm curious.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think there's a 90% chance that there's a lot of what you just said going into this. You think about Denver, right, with their ownership group. They didn't hire Nathaniel Hackett. He came in, and then they bought the team, and so that's not good news for Nathaniel Hackett, right? He's not their guy, and he obviously sucks anyway. But he's not their guy. Roquan Smith is not the new Bears GM guy. He's not. And so he wants toys to play with in the draft, and he's got a 2nd and a 5th moving forward. Kate, really enjoyed this. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween and this pretty dreadful Monday Night Football game here. And Kate, we look forward to our next chat with you, man.
Yes, I do too. Thanks so much for having me.
That is Kate Constable right there. Give her a follow on Twitter, just like you think. Kate Constable. That's Kate with a K and not with a C. So, folks, this game sucks. I don't know what to tell you. It's Halloween. I wish we, what they need to do. They should have scheduled a Saints game, right? Although not that 24-0 stinker against the Raiders. What the hell is up with the Raiders, by the way? What the F, man? I picked them to make the playoffs this year. And they've been in so many close games, they lost these games. And now they just let go of the rope. Like, that was pathetic yesterday. Derek Carr looks lost and overpaid, and it's misery with the Raiders right now, man. Absolute misery. If you're Mark Davis, their governor, though, you're like, yo, I got a chip. You're like, what chip are you talking about? The Las Vegas Aces, baby. The WNBA team. They just won the championship. So, Mr. Davis is psyched about that. But Nick Chubb just had an amazing hurdle of a defender in this game. Viral highlight for sure. Just went like a bunny rabbit, went boing over him, and it was something to see, man. It was really something to see. So, in terms of the giveaway here, I want to send out another big congratulations to Andrew Elmquist. That's his handle on Twitter. Andrew won the Bryce Harper signed baseball, which is really, really cool. So we're going to take our last break of the night here. We'll come back and we'll check out prop bets. We'll check out Monday Night Football here as well and see if we're on track to cash in these prop bet slips or not. And then we'll get back to the NFL trade deadline, which is tomorrow, and reacting to some of the news around that and some other NFL news here with injuries and that kind of thing. And we'll get out of here, and it'll be about 10 o'clock Eastern time and about halftime of Monday Night Football. So that's the lay of the land. Always get involved with the show by hitting the call button right next to the fun button. You can come through with audio, video. You can click join the show, make comments, and we got it all coming up for you, man. It's Rick Kamla rocking the old jersey, Fletch style. That's my Halloween costume tonight on Halloween on Bettor Sports Network.
Collectible moments.
Everybody up here at U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing, shot to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Bartlett picks a perfect game. His second no-hitter. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular. He's mobbed by his teammates. A perfecto.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right out, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the impounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left.
Out of the I formation on first down. Peterson to carry, looking for running room on the right side, has it to the 25, across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Adrian Peterson has just gone over 2,000 yards for the season, the 7th man in NFL history to cross the 2,000-yard mark.
Well, a thundering ovation for number 66, Mario Lemieux.
Just the emotion I'm sure Mario is feeling in this place. You don't appreciate something until it's gone, and it's so great to have Mario back.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, his first goal in his comeback here tonight at the Mellon Arena. And the Penguins lead 3-0, and he is smiling like a butcher's dog. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. The Bears have scored, but the bands are out on the field.
Here Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the banking. They're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? Pearson is still running. The winner is car number 21. An amazing finish. Richard Petty's car demolished in the front end, as well as car number 21. An unbelievable finish, a terrible crash. David Pearson has won the Daytona 500. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots, scores! Christian Leitner has hit the bucket at the buzzer! Pitched by Downey, swinging, there's a drive into left center field. That ball is gonna be out of here. It's gone. It's 7-15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship 123-107 over Philadelphia.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Bettor Sports Network.
Tyreek Hill in the backfield, Joe. Back to throw. Tua looking. There he goes. A touchdown, Waddle. Gesicki to the right. Back to throw. Flipping it downfield. Waddle. Touchdown. Perfect throw and catch. And Waddle with yet another touchdown. 29 yards. And the Dolphins are back in this football game. Waddle's second touchdown reception of the contest.
All right, there, folks, was Dolphins Radio. And wow. Tua Tagovailoa had these thoughts yesterday. I want to bring them to you right now. He throws one of the prettiest balls in the NFL. I don't know if you're just watching highlights and watching box scores, watching Red Zone. You got to get yourself another television. Try to. Christmas is coming up, holiday season. Build it in. You can get flat screen TVs. They're not that expensive. Go ahead and pop it up on the wall right next to your other TV. You got to watch these games, man, because Tua Tagovailoa he throws one of the prettiest balls in the NFL. And he's got Hill, he's got Waddle, and it is a devastating passing game. Absolutely devastating. Then they hit you with Mike Gesicki. It's devastating, man. And they need a defense, and we're going to talk about a move they may make here in a minute to bolster their defense. Waddle and Tyreek Hill, the fastest set in the NFL, and they've got Tua. And oh boy, can he throw it deep and can he hit these guys deep? He does it all the time. Like he was a deep thrower at Alabama. I mean, he's also good at the dink and dunk and the seam routes and the tight end routes and the slot guy routes. He's good at that stuff too. Very accurate. And by the way, Jacoby Brissett got sacked at midfield, fumbled the ball, recovered by the Bengals. And so now with about 39 seconds left, clock really not an issue here, but they will on 4th and 9. Wait, are they going to run a play right here? Where are they at? Joe Burrow's acting like they're running a play. And now he's kind of looking around like, what is going on here? Now the clock is stopped. What do we got, a timeout by the Bengals? I mean, hold on a second. Zach Taylor, what are you doing? It's a timeout by the Browns. Okay, I was going to say, why would Zach Taylor stop the clock and maybe give Cleveland some time back on the other side? This is interesting coaching by Kevin Stefanski here. He called a timeout, and Zach Taylor is now like, what do I do? Because he wanted to run it all the way down, kick a field goal, and have that be the last play of the half. Now it's 4th and 9. It's a bit of a lengthy field goal. So do I go for it, keep the clock moving, and so basically Zach Taylor was like, Stefanski got me because he stopped the clock here with 44 seconds left. I'm going to go out there with Evan McPherson, and then he's going to have a chance to mount to drive and get a field goal himself. And I say all the time, that's good coaching. That's good game management. Nathaniel Hack, he doesn't get that stuff. I get it, and I'm not even a coach, and I'm thousands of miles away from the game. Call timeouts when the other team has the football. It's not that hard. Like Ron Rivera, first half of the Tennessee game, was in this exact spot and let the clock run all the way down. And they ended up losing the game. It was a 1-score game. It was just so stupid. Stop the clock, bro. Call a timeout. Oh, you're saving timeout. So when you have 10 seconds left and you have the ball at your own 25, you're going to take a damn knee. You don't have enough time to even use your timeouts. And here McPherson does not keep it within the uprights. It was there, and then it drifted away and ended up being wide right. Evan McPherson misses, and now Brissett and the Browns will take over with decent field goal position here with 40 ticks left. The snap was good. The hold was good. And that is a, what do you call it? When you spray the golf ball, a slice. He sliced it. Right hand, right, goes right off to the right. You slice it. Looks good immediately off the club. And then it's it just takes I guess a right turn on you. And so we're 8-0. What a game. Woo! Woo! What a game. What a game. Finger guns. Woo! What a game right here. It makes me think of Gilbert Arenas and some of the dumb decisions he made back in the day. When the first half is here, I'll run through the box score and we'll check out some NFL props. I'm seeing way more of Kareem Hunt tonight than I thought I was going to see. Way more. Just caught a pass right here, took it up to about midfield, and Cleveland is driving right here. They still do have one timeout left, and I believe they just used it. ESPN's graphics are a little bit slow here, and that is what happened. And then Cade York is warming up. Look at the Indiana Pacers. Oh, boy. They are right back in this game. They were getting slaughtered by the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, absolutely drilled. And now it is 96-92 Nets over Pacers under 10 minutes to go here, 9:58 of the fourth. And I'm not going to hit this Halliburton prop tonight. We had the over on 20.5. He's at 9 points so far. He's just, it's just a weird game. It's not like he's shooting bad. He's only taken 8 shots. He's got 6 turnovers. It's just kind of a lousy game, kind of a back-to-earth game here for Tyrese. Hey, it was going to happen. I've given you like 3 winners here on Halliburton, so we're going to give you a loser tonight on Halliburton. We're still well above and playing with house money here on Tyrese Halliburton. We had and his number was 20.5. Here's Brissett down the middle of the field, got a man, and the Browns are driving right on the fringe of field goal range right now. Brissett got crushed. He looks like kind of hurt here, holding his right shoulder area as he gets ready to spike the ball. But so we had Halliburton, we had Kevin Durant. Durant's at 28 right now, 11 of 17 from the field, and he's about to get back out here and take the court for the Nets for his stint in the fourth quarter. His number was 31.5. He's at 28, feeling good about that. We gave you Trae Young's under at 28.5, and he is not going to hit that number, folks. This looks like a winner for me and for you. Trae Young is at 14 right now. He's shooting 3 of 12, and the Toronto Raptors are smothering them. 110-92. It's an 18-point bulge. This very soon will be garbage time, and they'll empty the bench. You're going to be able to cash that one. Trae Young very much looks like a winner. Here's Brissett out of the pocket. Got it away right before he was tackled from behind, and it's bringing up a 3rd down and 10 right here. Brissett is accumulating some shrapnel here through some of the hits that he's taken. So we got 9 seconds left. One more opportunity for Brissett to advance the ball a little bit here and get Cade York into slightly better field goal range, and I'll let you know what happens there. But Toronto absolutely mauling the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Trae Young at 14, so that is going to be a win. I feel like Durant's going to be a win. I feel like Halliburton's going to be a loss. So let's check in on the 76ers and Tyrese Halliburton. We gave you the over on him, and that game has gone final, and Philadelphia is a winner. Here's Brissett just throwing it away. So it's setting up a long field goal here by Cade York. And don't ask me if he's going to make it. Probably not. But Tyrese Maxey in the house, man. 28 points. He has soared ahead of even James Harden here. This is a final, so these are final numbers. James Harden, by the way, 23 points and 17 assists. My God. But Maxey with 28 points to lead the Sixers. He has been rolling. All 5 starters for Philly in double figures here. So far, either in or tracking towards a 3-1 night. So let's try to stay hot here on the props. Let's go to the Detroit and Milwaukee game. It's a 55-yard attempt here for Cade York. And the hold is down. Boy, that kick is nails right down the middle. Cade York says, that's why you made me a 4th-round pick. Right there. That was a bullseye. Literally could not have hit that ball any better. Would have been good from 60 plus. Any old way, they are at the half on Monday Night Football, and the Browns lead the Bengals 11-0. That's the kind of game we're getting here tonight, folks. All right, so let's check in on Bucks and Pistons. We had the over on Jaden Ivey at 12.5. Jaden Ivey is right there. I mean, right there. He's got 8 points right now. 4:19 to go in the third quarter. They're down by 15, which worries me a little bit. Like, might not be able to finish the game. Might be like too much of a blowout and that kind of thing. But he is going to get another shift in the fourth quarter. And what he needs is a 3 and a bucket. He needs 5 points. We got to get to 13. So he's in a good spot, right? If he were at 4, I'd say we're dead. But he's at 8, and we got to get to 12.5. So we're right on the cusp right there for Jaden Ivey hitting that. So Ivey is there. And then we had 3 Clippers. Paul George over 22.5. Reggie Jackson over 15.5. Morris over 15.5 against the Rockets, who have a horrible, horrible defense. And it's at home, and it's an absolute must-win game for the LA Clippers. I say that kind of loosely, right? I mean, they're two must-game type of feel. I mean, damn, are you going to keep losing games? One of these nights, you got to come out and actually punch and act like one of the big boys and one of the contenders of the National Basketball Association. So that's the lay of the land with our props. So far, I'll put Ivy down as an L for now, but we're 3-2, tracking towards these 3 late night plays. Now, in terms of Monday Night Football here, folks. Let's go through the box score and talk about some of my wagering advice here. Joe Mixon, I mean, I give up. I give up. I'm not a give up guy. I haven't given up my whole life until now. This is the epiphany. I'm finally going to give up. I'm going to let go of the rope here. I'm just going to lay down and die. I'm going to roll over and just give it to him, right? I'm out. Joe Mixon has 12 yards here at halftime. 12. Do you know how bad the Browns' run defense is? The Browns' run defense is horrible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Apologies to Joe Mixon managers. Like, it's just not going to be a good year. You can't have nice things. You can't. You won't. It's not going to happen. If it's not happening tonight in game 1 without Jamar Chase, the weather's not a problem tonight. You're at Cleveland. They have a really terrible run defense, and you're 5 carries and 12 yards. What can I tell you? What? Okay, I can tell you something. I will never be going over on a Joe Mixon rushing prop this year again. I can tell you that. So that's an L. Can already mark that one down. Nick Chubb, he's trending in a good way here. 9 carries, 40 yards. He's got the touchdown, and 83.5 was his prop. So obviously that's a question mark, but we're not too far off there. I feel good about that one. Kareem Hunt, I was right in terms of running the ball. He's got 3 carries and 11 yards. We had the under on his rushing yard prop of 37.5. I should say we're right to this point. But he has been a little bit more involved in the passing game than I thought. He's caught 4 balls for 30 yards. But that's not what we went with here. So we're looking good on his under on 37.5 rushing yards. Now, in terms of Amari Cooper, I mean, we're looking good here, man. He's at 47 yards. He needed to get to 53.5. I'm going to just go ahead and write that one down as a tentative win. And so Cooper at 47, 2 catches, 47 yards, has been targeted 5 times. 53.5 was his number. We told you he's been targeted at least 10 times in all of the home games this year. And he's on pace to be targeted 10 or more times here as well. Now, the problem with my stacking of the Bengals receivers going over their numbers is the fact that none of them are doing it, first of all. But Joe Burrow is having a night, like a bad night. And this is what we talked about. This is why I vibed on Cleveland tonight. This game isn't going to make sense. It's not. The Bengals have won 4 out of 5. The Browns have lost 4 in a row. And we're going to see a complete pivot on all that tonight. It's not going to make sense. And it's one of those things this is something that, like, when you track the game flow and the flow of these teams coming in, like, you're not going to glean that story from the way these teams are coming into this game. what you got to do is sort of read the room gambling style and understand that the NFL zigs when you think it's going to zag. It always does. So, of course, the Bengals are going to go in and put up 20 first half points and win 38-23. Of course, right? No, it's football. It's weird. Very weird. In Cleveland, they're in a death game here. Okay, lost 4 in a row. They're 2-5. Their season's on the line. Literally, if you fall to 2-6, you're done. If you win, you're 3-5 and you're kind of done, but you're not totally done. It's a breathe life into your season type of game. That's what we're seeing here tonight. But we're trying to win prop bets, man. And T. Higgins so far, 2 catches, 8 yards. Wow. 74.5 is his prop. Like, there's no way. Okay. Based on the game I'm watching right now, there's no way we get there. There's no way. There is a way. Obviously, it's football. We have 30 minutes of football left. Like, it's just what I'm seeing. Like, whoa, 8. We got to get to 75. Tyler Boyd is in there. 2 catches, 25 yards so far. Got to get to 62.5. Like, at least he has something on the board. At least he's eaten into that deficit a little bit. Hayden Hurst is actually tracking towards the over here. We gave him to you at 36.5. He's at 21 yards right now. And Joe Mixon. Can we get busy with a prop bet here with your receiving yards? No, we can't. He's at 22.5 with the prop, and he has 5 receiving yards in the first half. Here's the thing. He has 4 catches, 4 for 5 yards. He's averaging 1.3 yards per carry. What the hell, bro? Like, so this is going bad. This is going badly for these prop bets. It really is. We are not tracking in a good direction right now. It's looking like a 500 night would be maybe salvageable, but not trending in a good direction right there. So, all right, let's spend a little bit of time here on some of the rumors around NFL trade deadline time. Okay, and we start with Jerry Jeudy of the Denver Broncos, who it's interesting. Will they be in buyer mode or will they be in seller mode tonight and into tomorrow in advance of the trade deadline? Because they won the game in London. So does that create a scenario where they suddenly think, all right, we're frisky now, like we're 3-5, we're actually going to go do some stuff this year, or do they just resign themselves to the fact that they suck? Well, I can tell you that it's the former, not the latter, because NFL teams aren't like NBA teams who just say like, all right, we're tanking. And like NFL teams don't do that. They don't tank. They don't. Like teams have opportunities to lose games late in seasons and they don't. They go for the win. And it's sometimes really stupid. It could take them from a 3-win season to a 4-win season. What the hell does it matter, right? But then by winning that game, you move back 3 spots in the draft. And instead of going second, you're going 5th, right? Teams do it all the time. They don't care. They don't care. They're arrogant. They're like, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll be good, right? We don't tank here. We try to win games. Culture. Well, you can try to lose a game or two. I mean, you can. It's not that big of a deal. You think of Doug Peterson. Remember at the end of the season a couple of years ago, Philadelphia playing Washington, and they were in it, rushing touchdowns and looking good, and all of a sudden they just pulled the plug. That was a tank job. That was it. And by the way, Doug Peterson never coached the Eagles again. So there you go. But I was actually with it. And by the way, the Eagles moved up, I believe, 3 spots in the draft with that one loss, something like that. But Jerry Jeudy to the Giants. It's not like done. It's a possibility here. But ESPN reports the Giants have interest in Jeudy, but the price would have to be right for the team to make a move. Fox Sports reported last week that the Giants have particular interest in Jerry Jeudy. Renan notes that the Broncos reportedly want a lot of return for Jeudy and, quote, are not in a position to give up high picks. So there's that. New York recently acquired a conditional 3rd-round pick with the Kansas City Chiefs. And a nice year, not a great year. He's on pace for about 60 grabs, right around 1,000 yards, right around 6-7 touchdowns. Certainly not what I thought. I thought it would be way more than that, 80 for 1,108, something like that, like a real solid year. Not Jerry Rice reincarnated, but a really solid year. We're not getting that. Why? Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson. That's why. And we had a little bit of an injury scenario with Jerry Jeudy there as well, but he's an absolute rock star. Now, the Broncos win in London has me, like I said earlier, are they buyers or sellers here? And so what is their appetite to trade Jerry Jeudy? What is their appetite to trade Bradley Chubb, who we'll talk about here in just a moment? What's their appetite for that? They're 3-5 now. Your season is alive, albeit barely. To me, you're going to have to bowl over Denver to get Jerry Jeudy. You're going to have to make it off, but they can't refuse. One of those things, right? And if you try to like low dough them and, get something on the cheap and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to comply with that. They got their price, kind of like the Nets with Kevin Durant. The Nets were willing to trade Kevin Durant if somebody met their demands, and nobody met their demands, and they kept Kevin Durant. That's how I look at Denver here, that you have to you have to go literally poach these guys from their roster, kind of like your boy Cam does, with all the FOB money that I spend and with the aggressive trades that I make. And I'm not really worried about tomorrow. I'm worried about today. And that's what you have to be super aggressive about that. Jerry Jeudy, though, is exactly what the doctor has ordered for the New York Giants. Don't know if they're going to make a trade. Don't know if they're going to get him, but he's exactly what they need. Darius Slayton is the Giants' number one receiver right now. I can tell you this with very clear, definitive, I just feel very good about this. There has not been a worse number one receiver in the NFL over the last 20 years than Darius Slayton being the number one wide receiver for the New York Giants right now. I defy you. Give me a number one wide receiver in the last 20 years, the last generation of NFL football, who is worse than Darius Slayton as the number one wide receiver. Darius Slayton, a little while ago, fell out of the rotation. Out of the rotation. Wasn't even a dude on the field getting balls thrown to him. That's how desperate they are. Yo, are you healthy? Can you run? Because this guy, Kenny Golladay, he's just stealing money from us, man. Can you actually get on the field and run and catch a little bit? Oh, you can? Go rub some dirt on it, young fella, and get out there and go do it. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go to the comments here real quick. See what you guys are saying. Anybody here? I mean, you can't. Nobody's out here doing this. So there's no. It's the worst number one wide receiver we've seen in the last 20 years. By the way, I popped over here at halftime of the football game, this Nets and Pacers game, and it is going to be dramatic. The Pacers have made this a game. They got it within 7 with just over 4 minutes to go. And I'm pretty sure Halliburton that is lost in terms of him hitting his prop. Let me just check this box real quick. Man, he is still stuck on 9 points. What is no, he didn't get hurt. He's back in. He racked up another turnover. He's just having an off game. And so the Nets up by 7 late in the game. Nets, don't lose this game. Don't lose this game. You can't lose this game, right? You can't lose this game, right? Like, you can't lose this game. I mean, legit, they can't lose this game. They might as well shut down Barclays. No more concerts, no more games, no more nothing. We're all going home. If you can't beat the Pacers at home, and they just turned the ball over, Pacers got the rock with 4 minutes to go, down 7. So the thing with Jerry Jeudy is, folks, he's the total package. You can line him up inside, you can line him up outside, go routes, slot routes, crossers, fade routes, corner routes. Everything you want. He's got it. Little tunnel screens off to, flat on the line of scrimmage. Everything. Make a guy miss, shoot down the sideline, get 10, 15 yards. All that. He's an absolute stud. I had a first-round grade on Jerry Jeudy coming out of Alabama. We all did. He was like the 11th or 12th pick or something like that. Draft compensation for Jerry Jeudy right now should be no lower than a second-round pick. And I'm not even doing that. I'm not. If I'm Denver, and see, I'm not like the Bears where I'm a dumbass, and I'm going to give you Roquan Smith, the 8th overall pick in 2018, for a second-round pick and a 5th-round pick. That like, you're downgrading. What are you doing? And Roquan Smith is an absolute monster. So stupid by the Bears to trade him. Well, they're getting future draft picks and future financial flexibility. I get that. Why did you draft him? You just admitted you drafted the wrong guy. If he's checked every box to getting paid and you still trade him to Baltimore, that means you're the. It shows me that at one point, and obviously it was a different regime, but I don't know, like Roquan Smith is the man. And if I were the new regime, I'd be like, yo, this is a build around guy. By the way, it's a 4-point game. Kyrie Irving are having words going into the huddle as like I said, the Pacers just made it a 4-point game here late. They weren't screaming at each other, and it wasn't like overly dramatic, but it was, they weren't talking about where they're having dinner after the game. Kyrie was explaining something to him, and it looked like Kevin Durant just had to kind of be like, all right, whatever. Kind of like that deal. Like not foaming at the mouth at each other. So I'm going to leave it right here. And this probably will not be over by the time I get off the air in 5 minutes. But this is a real developing story here, especially if the Brooklyn Nets lose this basketball game after having a huge lead, after being 1-5, losing to Indiana on Saturday night, right? And everything is heading in a bad direction. Lose this game. So this 3 minutes and 20 seconds is huge. Absolutely huge. But Jerry Jeudy, a very special talent. If I'm Denver and you want him, if you offered me a first-round pick for Jerry Jeudy, I'm taking the first-round pick. I am. Here he is. You can have him. Stage a press conference, alert the media, all that kind of stuff. Cool. I'll take a first-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. I'll tell you, Smith package for Jerry Jeudy. I'm not taking a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. I'm not doing that. It's not enough. I wouldn't have taken a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for Roquan Smith. You would have had to come get him with a first-round and only a first-round pick. You wouldn't have had to put other sweeteners in. And there's a 3-ball by Brooklyn. Royce O'Neal from the right corner. Big shot right there. Huge shot to restore order. Halliburton coming back, and he's fouled by Kyrie. But now Bradley Chubb, let's talk about this. Denver might also be trading Bradley Chubb. And Bradley Chubb might be going to your Jets or your Miami Dolphins. We shall see. Peter King of NBC Sports is reporting the Jets and Dolphins are interested in acquiring Bradley Chubb from the Broncos. King's source is a well-plugged-in GM who said both teams could be interested enough in Chubb's services that they would deal a first-round pick to acquire him. He, of course, was a first-round pick as a savage coming out of NC State, a play destroyer in college. Love Bradley Chubb. High motor guy, very athletic, very strong and powerful, awesome pass rusher and defensive lineman. He's owed $7 million over the next 10 weeks of this season, and then he'll hit free agency in March. And if you're going to make this trade, you got to then work out a deal and get Bradley Chubb on the books and make sure you're not trading all this to get a rental player. You're not doing that. The NFL doesn't work that way. Only baseball do that. Well, I'll give you this prospect and this prospect and this prospect for a guy that's going to play 25 games for my team and maybe the playoffs. Like, what is that? So stupid. But Roquan Smith, Bradley Chubb this year is having a great year. He's got 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles through the first 8 games, and on pace for his most sacks since 2020. The Dolphins are the team that needs to go ahead and do this. The Dolphins. Their passing game is elite. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Tua and Hill and Waddle, it's as good as it gets in the NFL. It is as good as it gets in the National Football League. So how about we get the defense up into a nasty it doesn't even have to be nasty. It's just got to be. Miami's defense right now is average, and it needs a boost. They're 23rd in yards allowed at 362. They're giving 24 points per game. So what you've got here is an opportunity to get better on the defensive end. It would be a transformative move by the Fish, and I think they should pull that off. Easy for me to say. Hey, big thanks to Justin Henry and Kate Constable for hanging out with your boy Cam tonight. Big thanks to all of you for spending some time with me here on Halloween. Cam is your boy Fletch. And big thanks behind the glass to Tyler Soto and Anthony Rivera as well. I'm Cam. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. I'll see you tomorrow night on Better Sports Live.